everybody, welcome to the stream. Whoops, that didn't go as planned. Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. It's a pleasure to have you here. As you can tell by the background music, we are not going to be playing video games today. Today we are going to be reading more of the book, the Warframe book, which I'll post the link in the chat to that. I should probably get in the habit of making that a thing that's in the video description. Hey, good idea. I'm gonna go back and edit the video description so they all have the link. But yeah, let me paste the link into the chat. So this is the book that we are going to be reading today. It's only, whoa, my arms. Please, no, please. Why? There we go. Alright, so yeah, this is the book that I've been reading on this channel for the past couple months. Pretty much ever since I started splitting the streams in between Twitch and YouTube. I've been doing the book readings every other week on YouTube. The book series is called, the book series is I'd Rather Fall Among the Stars, and we are reading book 4, which is Seas Who Could Sing So Deep and Strong. They're written by heartslogos, and they are available on Archive of Our Own. So if you have an Archive of Our Own account, you're able to read the books on your own. If you don't have an account, well, then you can listen to me reading it for you as a nice bedtime story. Let me think. News on my end. I have a collab with Ko and Haru. Not this week, but next Saturday. And then the new war is coming on the 15th. The schedule may or may not be different for that day, depending. I haven't decided if I'm going to stream on that day or not, because it's on a Wednesday, and I usually don't stream on Wednesdays, so I might edit the schedule so that we could do the new war on that day. I may or may not. I don't know yet. And either way, it'll be over on Twitch. So you could stop by over on Twitch to be able to see that. Let me know if the background sound is too loud or too soft, or yeah, I'm trying out new sounds. So we had the birds in the river song sounds, and then we had the crackling fireplace, and then now we have the storm, which was suggested by a viewer a couple days ago. So we'll see what you guys like the best for the background music. But yes, please let me know if it is too loud or too quiet. Yeah, so usually at this point in time, I'll give like an overview of the story so far and a little blurb on the characters. But I think we've gotten far enough into the story that I could start reading the blurb that the author actually wrote about the characters. I hadn't been reading it previously because the characters hadn't developed to the point where they reflected the blurb, but I think they have. So I'll probably just end up reading the blurb. The story so far. So we are on book 4, which is an episodic, slice of life story, I guess. Each chapter is its own self-contained, standalone story. So that's another reason why I really like doing this story for streams, is because somebody can pop in, listen to a chapter, and pop out and not miss the overarching story, because the overarching story for this particular book is character development. Like, the whole book revolves around these characters, and they're very well written characters, and I love them a lot. But yeah, you don't have to worry about like not understanding plot elements. Like, if you're familiar with Warframe at all, then you could easily pick up on the plots that are happening in each individual chapter. They're like self-contained little bubbles. Yeah, so I think that's really great. And again, this is not the first time I've read this story on this stream. This is like, I don't know, like the 10th stream or something I've had reading this. It's a long book, and I like it a lot. Alright, let me read the character blurbs for you guys, and we can jump right into reading the book. Let me rearrange stuff so I can see your lovely comments. And let's see if this goes down here. Alright, the blurb. Here we go. So, the Tenno Guide. Series protagonists. Judge, call sign Hades. He is a Xeneric focus operator, a former Nova Prime main gone Inaros. Mains in Inaros Ramses with a Tigris, Twin Roga, and Broken War. His main sentinel is Helios Prime. His main companion is a Semitic Kavat named Handsome/Ugly. His Cephalon is Skyla. Judge's factions are Arbiters of Hexus, Cephalon Suda, and Steel Meridian. Judge's quests were Sands of Anaros, The Change of Harrow, Octavia's Anthem, and the Apostasy Prologue. Because in this universe, in this retelling of Warframe, each individual quest was only done by one Tenno, and after they did the one quest, then they went and, like, I don't know, made copies of the Warframes that came from the quest, and, like, passed them out to other Tennos. So he is actually the one who, I think, yeah, he did the second dream. So he was the Tenno who took place during the second dream, and then after the second dream, he was able to, like, share that information and that knowledge with other Tenno in the system. So it's pretty cool. It's like not every Tenno had the same quest experiences. Yeah. So Kore, call sign Persephone, is a Madurai operator. Former Saren Prime main, god Nidus, means a Nidus Frike with a dragon Nikana, Rubico, and Nell. Her main sentinel is a Jinn. Her main companion is a Helminth charger named Empress. Her Cephalon is Ordis. Kore's factions are Steel Meridian, Red Veil, and Cephalon Suda. Kore's quests were Titania's Grove, the Glassed Gambit, and Chimera. I don't think have we gotten to the Chimera prologue in the quests in the story yet? I don't remember. I think we have. Yeah, I think we have. We've got the Paracesis, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember. Judge and Kore both share the Once Awake, Nata, Second Dream, the War Within, and the Sacrifice. Some segments of the quest done together, some exclusive to one Tenno. Series Deuteragonists. I did not realize that was a term. So not protagonists, but supporting characters, I assume, because I've never seen this term before. The Alpha is an Unairu operator. He is an Oberon Prime, maids an Oberon Prime Phaearch with a Paris Prime, Huku Prime, and Fang Prime. His main sentinel is Carrier Prime, and his main companion is a Huras Kubro named Momo. Cephalon is unknown. His faction is Steel Meridian. He is the Empress's partner. The Empress is a Narman/Zarman operator. Saren Prime, main Saren Prime with Astilla, Spirit Prime, and Twin Croaker. Main sentinel is a Death Cube. Her main companion is an Adarza Kavat named Jailer. Cephalon is unknown. Her faction is Arbiters of Hexus. She is the Alpha's partner. Joy is a Vazarin operator. She's a former Trinity Prime gone Equinox. Mains a day form Equinox with a Vectis, Acapulto, and the Silva and Aegis. Her main sentinel is a Worm Prime. Cephalon is unknown. Her faction is the Cephalon Suda. She is Punk's partner. And the last one, last but not least, Judge, call sign Punk. Madurai operator, former Ember Prime, now Chroma Prime. Mains Chroma Prime Grax, fire attuned, with Tigris Prime, Akvasto, and Kogake Prime. His main sentinel is Idiriga, and his main companion is a Chesakubro named Pug. Cephalon is Aura. Oh, I didn't know that. His faction is Steel Meridian. He is Cheek's partner. So a little bit about their personalities. Just one line, really fast. Jude/Punk is a walking disaster. Sheik/Joy is a shrewd businesswoman, I guess. Empress is a living legend. The Alpha is a terrifying person with a heart of gold who never intended to be terrifying. It's all accidental. Judge and Kore. Kore is a Tenno who she likes being alone, except for with the exception of Judge and later on in the story becoming friends with everybody else. And Judge is a Tenno who has a hard time differentiating. No, let's not make that what I introduce him as. He is a Tenno who likes investigating things. He likes figuring out why things work and how things work and investigating a bunch of different projects and mysteries. He likes being the detective. Alright, cool. With that out of the way, let's start the story. Well, start the story. Let's continue. We are on chapter 119 of book 4, which again you can find at the link, and I'm going to have to start putting those in the video descriptions. Alright, let me get so that I can read nice and comfy. Alright, here goes. Seas Who Could Sing So Deep and Strong by heartslogos. Chapter 119.
I don't know where you got this idea that I'm capable of keeping Persephone under control,
Judge says as they watch Corey rip through hordes of infested with her Warframe's bare hands.
but I think you need to reconsider that very quickly, because the only way to get her to do something is if you offer incentive. And mostly the incentive for her is when she's with me that she keeps me alive, and she has material to hold over me for later. Oopsies.
My hand. Let's put my hands down for now. Why does she need to hold anything over you? Sheik asks.
To stop me from doing something stupider than normal, probably,
Judge says. In hindsight, he recognizes that he's had several less than brilliant ideas, and that while at the time Corey seemed Spartan and perhaps a touch controlling, she was absolutely right, and if he didn't listen to her, he probably would have gotten them into more trouble than they could handle. Now that he's really thinking about it, instead of passively acknowledging that Corey is his better, more controlled half, she's probably doing this out of self-preservation, because half the time when he gets into trouble, it gets her into trouble too. This is how he feels about Jude. Punk. Yikes. She takes care of you, Sheik says. But you know, you're literally the only person who can ask her to do anything and she'll say yes.
You've asked her for help a few times.
Yeah, but it's never anything important, Sheik points out. And sometimes I lie about what I need help with, and then she's stuck there. I acknowledge that it's a terrible thing to do, but I'm also a terrible person usually.
She likes you,
Judge says.
You're her friend too.
She gives him a look. Not like how you're her friend. Sheik does air quotes around the word friend, and Judge feels a creeping, tingling heat, not unlike Corey's fizz cola energy tickle its way up the back of his neck, over his scalp and ears. He coughs, turning aside, ignoring Sheik's knowing smirk.
What do you want from her?
Judge asks instead. There's not much for him and Sheik to do here. Corey's handling everything. Mostly, Judge is just trying to make sure Poppy doesn't get indigestion by eating too much infested parts, and Sheik's been sedately walking around to pick up fallen loot. Nothing big, really, Sheik says. It's just that, you know how half her herd is named after people? I know, she didn't do it on purpose, mostly, but I have a new puppy. She's a very good puppy. She's a very cute puppy. She's a Sunika, and she reminds me exactly of Persephone.
No.
Judge knows without her going any further where this is leading, and there's no way he can get this to happen. It would take 7 miracles, a sainthood from someone else, and maybe Sheik saving Corey's life like 5 times for it to happen. I didn't even finish asking, Sheik says, her equinox's arms crossing. Hear me out.
You want to name your dog after Persephone.
I absolutely want to name my dog after Persephone. I'm going to call her Percy. If Persephone won't let me call her Percy, I'm doing the next best thing. And listen, you need to see my new dog. She's a definite Percy.
It's not going to happen. Persephone wouldn't like it,
Judge says. Well, we haven't asked her.
I don't need to ask her to know. She's not going to like it.
She's big, Sheik goes on. She's still a puppy, but I can tell she's going to be lanky. Probably not like Valencia or Midas, but kind of like Alpha the Kubro, or Cadmus. She's black with these cute little light brown spots, and she's got these cute little ears and toes. Hades, come on, at least look at her. Come on, let me patch in, I've got some footage.
Don't show the...
But Skyla has already let Sheik stream into his viewport, and he's got footage of a small little Kubro puppy wiggling around on the floor, gnawing on a moa foot that's still throwing off sparks. The puppy has these cute little growls, and its a little puff of a tail is vigorously going back and forth as the puppy does its darned best to take apart the machinery. Sheik's voice can be heard cooing in the background. And then another, this time the puppy asleep right in the middle of a Kubro bed, while one of Sheik's other Kubros tries to lie down around it to no avail. The puppy's little legs twitch in sleep as it rolls over and sprawls out like a tiny furry star. She's got a little tan speckle on her hindquarters that's vaguely shaped like a 5-petaled flower. Judge feels his heart melting. He can see the resemblance already.
Okay, but...
And then the final nail in the coffin. The tiny little Kubros jumped onto a much larger Kubro and is viciously, for a puppy, trying to chew the other dog's ear off while the dog patiently allows it. The puppy barks, a high-pitched yips as it falls off the Kubro's back and starts wiggling around on the floor and snapping at the older Kubro's paws. She picks the puppy up and the puppy squirms around, legs outstretched like she's trying to run on air.
Okay, it fits, Judge says, defeated. I'll ask. She's going to say no, so I hope you have a backup name.
If it's you, she won't say no. I'm sending you those files to show her, Sheik says. Judge sighs, and the two of them follow the trail of rampant virulence and destruction to where Corey's worked her way to the middle of a hive and is stabbing at the central node with much enthusiasm. Juggernaut hunting. Corey has the worst luck at it. They never show up for her when she wants them. They only show up when she's in a hurry and doesn't have time for them. Judge catches up to her as she's smearing infested guts off her Nidus's copper helm, and he wordlessly sends her the stream. Corey holds still, hand on the hilt of her Nikana as her Nidus stares off into the distance while she watches the stream. Judge half-heartedly shoots a few crawlers and runners that come close while Sheik finishes raiding the area.
Sheik says the puppy is you,
Judge says. She's not wrong, Corey replies.
She wants to name it Percy.
Corey doesn't reply. She just turns around and starts heading for the next hive. Judge is about to tell Sheik to come up with a new name when he sees Sheik's Equinox pump a fist, jog up to Corey, butt its head against Nidus's, and jog back towards him. I'm bringing Percy over on our next run, Sheik says. Persephone offered to bring Valencia along to have Percy learn some tips. Yay. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Oculus Nuva. Wasn't expecting a YouTube stream. Ah, well, hello. So I do stream on YouTube every Thursday. Every Thursday I stream on YouTube. And then every other Thursday, it's me reading this book. I don't do it every week. It's just every other week. It's a long book, so it's going to be a while until we finish it. But yes, every Thursday we have YouTube streams, except for 2 weeks ago, I think, when we had the Twitch celebration. Then we didn't have one, but that was like an exception. So I made a big announcement, like, "Oh hey, this Thursday it's not a YouTube stream." Sakura Rose, hello, welcome to the stream. Yeah, once a week, yeah. Jesse OJ10, hello, welcome to the stream. Welcome everybody. Fun times. Yes, I hope you enjoy the book. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, this book is very episodic in nature, so you could just listen to a chapter and then leave, and you won't be missing out on the plot. There is overarching plots, but they are all character development related. So you're not gonna miss, like, plots. It's all character driven, and each one is self-contained. And once in a while, like this next chapter is gonna directly lead off of the chapter we just read, but chapters like that are rare. You're not sure what you're having yet? What? Oh, dinner. I missed that first one. All right. Well, enjoy it, whatever you end up having. Oh, okay, hello, welcome. Welcome to the stream, Princess. There you go. Okay, well, hey, now I know. Yeah, what was I gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say. But yeah, I will be reading, as you can see by this little thing right here. I'm only really going to be responding to chat in between chapters, so if you have something to say, feel free to say it while I'm reading out loud, and I will get to it and read the comments in between chapters. Feel free to type and chat and stuff during the reading. But yeah, I think with that, welcome everybody again, and I'm going to head on to the next chapter 120. Alright, well, thank you, Sakura Rose. Alright, again, this is a Warframe story, so I know you're familiar with Warframe, so hopefully you will enjoy the story of these operators. Corey call sign Persephone, Judge call sign Hades, so Hades and Persephone. And then you have Joy, call sign Chic, Jude, call sign Punk, not to be confused with Judge. Judge and Jude are two different people. That's actually how they met in the first place, is because Corey mixed up their comms, and she called Jude on accident, and she meant to call Judge, and then she freaked out. It was great. And then you have the Alpha and the Empress, who we don't know their real names. They're just the Alpha and the Empress. Were you able to clip the Larklight? Ah, yes, thank you for the whisper. I have not clipped it yet, no. I'll clip it soon. TM. Soon. Sorry about that. All right. With that, let's move on to chapter 120.
Percy! Baby girl, come here!
Punk yells out, and Judge feels his stomach flip, clench, and then sink through his feet and into the void. Oh. Judge feels an astounding wave of bitter, uncomfortable things curling up in the space of his stomach recently vacated, and his chest tightens to match. It feels like his skin is tightening against his bones, and all the liquid's been sucked out of his body. Judge feels like garbage, and the fool that Corey always, sometimes affectionately, usually with a touch of exasperation and despair, calls him. Corey can be with whoever she likes. Corey has every right to go wherever she wants and be with whoever she wants and form relationships with whoever she wants. Judge doesn't get to, judge that. He doesn't get any say in that, and he doesn't have any right to have feelings about it. Corey's her own person. Corey is her own person. Judge knows this, and he's always known this. Corey is more than capable of making her own choices and, cutting others off. If Corey didn't like something or someone doing anything, existing even, she can and will remove that thing immediately. Judge knows his firsthand. And he's never said anything. He's never put words to that feeling of golden dust that runs its fingers along his ribs or gently lays the back of his neck, or the warm sunbeam glow that seems to coat his shoulders and his face and his palms whenever she gives him that look that he's fairly certain is just for him. He's never said anything about the stillness, the presence of her breath inches away from him when they sleep on the same ship. He's never said a single whisper about the feeling of her fingertips touching his before their palms meet. Judge has never told Corey that he loves her, just convinced himself that she knew. He's never said a thing to her. He's told her that he appreciates her and that she's important to him and that he wants to help her and be with her and pretty much everything except those key words. Corey, I love you. Well, he might have said it, but he kind of said it offhand, not in the way that conveys what he really means. But Judge doesn't quite know what he really means, because what he really means is that Alpha always knows where Earth is, but Judge can feel Corey in his head and his chest like dawn. What he really means is that even though it's super gross, he wants to be the only one to scratch her Nidus's brain for her and make all of those cells sparkle and light up. What he really means is that he doesn't want to ever lose her, and he wants to be there for her through every single star in space. What he really means is that he loves it when she mocks Tile Regor, and he adores it when she pretends like Spooky isn't her favorite baby, and he's entirely charmed with how smooth she thinks she is whenever she and Ortis pretend to be a regular Tenno and Cephalon around other people, instead of Tenno and self-aware and determining intelligent entity that's broken all its safety protocols. What Judge really means is that, all of the above, and then some. But he has a hard enough time talking in general, so he's not sure how he's supposed to say all of those things out loud. He's not even sure what kind of response he wants. Judge feels the resignation setting in already, and he can see himself taking every opportunity to get sand in Punk's everything, and to maybe give him a good accidental zap now and again. But Punk's so good-natured, he probably won't even notice. Judge could also probably ditch Punk and get him out or something, but that's unfair of him. Judge shouldn't take out his own insecurities on Punk just because Punk had the guts to... There's a sudden blast of deeply uncomfortable and a quickly beginning to become painful heat at Judge's back, and he turns, squinting to see Corey. Corey stepped out of her nidus and blazing gold so strongly it's like a star has touched down on Earth. What the heck? Corey says, and Judge is hit by a simultaneous wave of relief that nearly knocks his legs out from underneath him, and confusion. Guys, Sheik says, clapping Judge on the shoulder. Chill, he's talking to my dog. Seriously, Judge, chill. You're making my hair stand on end. Judge blinks, turning to Sheik, and sees that the Tenno's hair has gathered his static to become an impressive cloud of vibrant pink. He didn't even realize. Well, he never does realize, honestly.
Sorry,
Judge says, attempting to smooth her hair down and only making it worse. Sheik sighs. Corey's rage has not abated, not a single degree. In fact, it seems like she's getting hotter. Judge and Sheik quickly jog away from her as vegetation in her vicinity begins to wilt and brown. Punk's holding Sheik's newest Kubro pup as the black and tan puppy wiggles about, doing its darned best to lick his face off. She's a squirming, yapping, wriggling mass of fur that's delighted to be in Punk's arms as he coddles and coos over it. Did I forget to mention that Percy the dog adores Punk like nothing else? Sheik says. I rescind my permissions, Corey barks out immediately. Change the name. I can't, Sheik says. Percy already recognizes her name. Percy the dog swivels towards Sheik, ears perked up immediately, tiny puff of a tail still going at it like a motor. When no one says anything else towards her, she resumes trying to merge with Punk's body via licks and enthusiastic cuddles. I hate this, Corey says, and it's several minutes of her slowly getting her temperature under control, with the occasional flare-up whenever Punk says Percy in the direction of the dog. Judge waits with her, feeling guilty and ashamed of the several less-than-kind thoughts he'd just been going through. Once the air around Corey's gone from insufferably hot to weirdly warm, he approaches and Corey snags his wrist with her hand. It's like being held by a rock that's been baked for a few hours, and just holds him there.
You going to be okay?
Judge asks, hoping that she doesn't notice the weird wobble to his voice, or that if she does, she attributes it to the fact that this could possibly be seen as a humorous situation. Certainly not by himself, and not by Corey, but probably Sheik, or Alpha, or Punk, or Empress. I need to change my name, Corey says, and you change yours too.
Me?
Judge blinks, wrinkling his nose.
Why do I have to change my name?
Because our names are a pair. Corey replies like it's the most obvious thing in the world. Hades and Persephone? We had an entire story time about it? You made me holograms and got me pomegranates? If I change my name, you change your name, and vice versa. Again, that warm feeling that blooms along his bones and sighs into his veins. Judge smiles at her.
You know I'm bad at naming things, though. We could just be the Fool and Spring.
Corey wrinkles her nose. We'll call those Plan Z. Ta-da! Hey, there we go. Is a 5-minute break between one of the chapters possible? I mean, it depends on how much chat I go through. Depends on how many messages people have sent. If I take 5 minutes reading it, maybe we'll go on a tangent. Last time I streamed this, I went on a really long tangent about Dungeons and Dragons. So if you guys get me going on a tangent, maybe it'll last 5 minutes. Who is mocking Tile Regor? Kore. So, yeah. Kore. It's another name for Persephone from ancient Greek mythology. So what happened there is Corey likes mocking Tile Regor. She'll always she likes beating him up for no reason and mimicking his voice back at him. It's like the anticipation. She likes doing that. She likes being a jerk to the Grenier. She hates the Grenier. That's how she is. You won't do it again? I won't talk about D&D again? Is that what you're saying? I mean, depends. Who knows? Who knows? Also, hello there. Welcome. I mean, I saw your message earlier, but I'm welcoming you anyway. Didn't realize you were still around. Sad Tile Regor noises. I mean, in the context of the story of Warframe, like he's a villain. He is somebody the Tenno have to assassinate on a regular basis, so. Alright, anyway. So yeah, in case you missed the context there, Punk was talking to Sheik's new puppy, who had the same name as Persephone, and they thought that he was talking to Persephone. He was like, "Come here, baby girl." And yeah, Judge got all antsy about it, that's all. Then Corey got very upset. Alright, anyway. Roll d20 plus 7 for persuasion. Alright, what'd you get? Plus 7, dang. Somebody's got high stats, high charisma. He has a noble go. I agree. Tilregor is best Grenier. Wait. I said something earlier. Wait. Anyway, I like Tilregor. Tilregor is real cool. He's just trying to save his race from gene degradation. He's just trying to make his people not be yicky all the time. Who can blame him? Alright, anyway, we're gonna move on to chapter 121. I know you like Tilregor. I mean, fair, I do. I ain't gonna deny it. Tilregor is cool. He's a very cool boy. He's a geneticist and a scientist. How can I not like him? Come on. Alright. Moving on. Chapter 121. Hades? Hades, are you awake? Hades. Judge groans, stirring and feeling something restraining him when he tries to raise his hands to rub his face.
What?
Hades, it's Corey. Wake up, come on, I can't carry you and keep us safe. Carry him? Why would Corey need to carry him? Judge comes to fully and realizes he's in his Warframe still, and that his chroma has been strapped down to something. Something around his neck keeps him from sitting up, but he can turn his head a little. He sees Corey's Vauban strapped onto a similar device next to him. Oh, and Judge remembers. Corey had been a Vauban, he'd been in his new chroma, and they were both trying to figure out how things worked. Punk was with them in his chroma, and bemoaning the fact that he was now responsible.
Is this what it looks like from the other side? Please, just have Alpha take care of you next time. Can you switch back to literal anything else and be competent again? Oh my goodness, I can't be as bad as you guys. Am I as bad as you guys?
And then the Zanuka hunter came and...
It got both of us?
My luck in a Vauban, Corey replies.
I thought you got rid of it after last time, honestly,
Judge says, trying to tap back into his orbiter in Skyla. Nothing. Some sort of interference, jamming the signal probably. He tries to activate Chroma's effigy, but the Warframe remains unresponsive.
Wait, I can't use effigy?
Of course not. We got caught by the Zanuka. Our frames are neutralized, Corey says. How stupid do you think Alan V is? He keeps a jamming signal, a modified nullifier program somewhere around here. It's keyed to our Warframes, so we have to find the one for yours and the one for mine. He's also got our weapons hidden.
What? He took our weapons?
Well, duh, Hades, Corey says, exasperated. Why would he leave them with us?
So we have to, break out of here with our fists?
Yes, Hades. Corey lets out an annoyed sigh. Why do you think everyone gets so annoyed when they get caught?
Because they got caught? I don't know, I've never been caught before. I kill the Zanuka every time. I've only ever had to come to save you, that last time you were Vauban. You really didn't throw it out?
Of course not, Hades. I'm a completionist. I don't get to throw Vauban off my ship until I've fully broken the frame in and completed mastery of it. Void.
Alright, since I'm new at this, how do we get the restraints off?
The Lotus, normally, Corey replies, clipped. Thankfully, there are others who've taken up her duties in her absence. The Lotus's agents know how to intercept and assist. I've got one on the line with me right now. We were just waiting for you. Brace yourself. Your frame is going to feel weird for a bit until we can find the signal that's been jamming us. Judge would nod if he could. Seconds later, there's a small click and a mechanical chirping sound as the restraints unlock. Judge stumbles down, feeling incredibly unbalanced and lightheaded.
Ugh.
Exactly, Corey says, one of Vauban's arms going around Chroma's waist as she helps steady him. Come on, we need our weapons.
What do we do if we see an enemy on the way to getting one?
Judge asks. That's what hands are for, Corey replies.
You're going to punch a person to death? That would take forever.
Ye of so little faith, Corey says. Come on, if we stay too long, Aladvi will figure out we've escaped and start talking to us.
Talking?
Judge repeats back, baffled.
Why?
He thinks he can convince us over to his side, Corey sneers. Or maybe it's a psychological tactic? Don't know, don't care. Move.
This is not how it went when I came to get you the last time,
Judge says. That was a mass capture, Corey says. This is a targeted capture. Different story. I think we're the only two Warframes here.
Any chance that Punk and the others will come?
Judge asks.
I mean, he was with us.
It hasn't been that long, Corey says. It's faster if we break ourselves out. Our extraction is in camouflage and will be ready for us once we get clear with our weapons. I think we're clear for now. Can you walk?
I'm working on it,
Judge says, as she carefully guides him. His feet feel a lot steadier.
I'm good, but you take point?
Corey snorts. Always. Her Vauban moves ahead and quickly ducks around a corner. Judge hears a snap seconds later. Vauban's arm comes back around the corner and gestures him to follow. When Judge catches up to her, she's shoving a body behind some storage units. We're clear. I checked the other room. No one. I'm picking up signals for where our stuff might be. The first one is actually pretty close to here. Hopefully it's a sword.
Or a gun.
I'd rather my sword, Corey says. I worked hard on that.
All right, let's go check,
Judge says, gesturing for her to lead on.
Get us out of here, Persephone.
Vauban quickly moves ahead, signaling Judge every once in a while to get down or to wait while she goes on ahead. Judge gets to see one encounter where she does actually destroy some Moa and Corpus crewmen with just her Vauban's fists. It takes a lot of punching, and Corey's snarling under her breath, but they do go down quite impressively.
I guess Vauban's big hands are worth something after all,
Judge muses, remembering Corey complaining about how Vauban's hands were just so clumsy and big to her. Clubbing other people, Corey replies. Blunter than the frag war. The impact damage from these fists is astounding. You think I could just keep Vauban's hands? Check the door.
Gross,
Judge says, ducking through the core Corey pointed him to.
Sorry, no sword. I did find my gun, though.
Figures. You got a 25? You rolled a 25 on persuasion. All right, I guess I'm not talking about D&D. It's the Zanuka. Yep. The Zanuka. You've never been caught by the Zanuka? If you do get caught by the Zanuka, there's a cool little quest that unlocks, which is what they're playing through right now, actually. Your Warframe becomes locked, and you can't use it until you run the quest to regain it. I haven't ran it. I don't know if I've run it myself or not. I don't think I have, but I've seen a YouTube video of somebody running it. Can you close the windows? It's raining a lot and water is entering the room. Well, first off, Far From Evolution, hello. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Second off, is that you saying that the sound effects are too loud? If they're too loud, I can turn them down. That's just part of the background noise, so it can be like, calming ASMR type dealio whatsits. But yes, if it's too loud, please let me know and I'll turn it down for you. But yeah, welcome to the stream. Welcome. There we go. Welcome. Unless Aladvi stops you, then you're gonna have problems. Spots you. I mean, it didn't look like it was that hard of a quest, if you ask me. Gotta keep the rain in. Confession time. There is no rain out in space. This is all an audio clip that I'm playing. It's not actually rain. Guns are better than swords. Some people would beg to differ. Personally, I think I use guns more. No, abilities are better than guns or swords. Yeah. It's hard to get caught by the Zanuka because it usually comes in multiplayer missions, and then the multiplayer people just instantly nuke it the second it spawns. And if you are in a multiplayer mission, the Zanuka will only take you if all 4 of the people are dead. Kind of like how Acolytes. Kind of like how the Acolytes will despawn if everybody dies. So that's how you get caught by the Zanuka, I think. Like, it's not enough for it to kill you and for you to bleed out. Like, everyone in the party has to die. So it's kind of awkward if you're in multiplayer and the Zanuka spawns in. How could you lie to us? I didn't lie to you. I told you the truth. I don't know why you're accusing me about lying. Ability, swords, and guns. So you're saying that they're all necessary? Did get a Grew Stab 3 and Steel Path. I mean, if you want to force the Zanuka after you, you just have to do a whole bunch of Grineer incursions. Might as well stock up on Detonite injectors while you're at it. Alright, we're going to move on to chapter 122. Ba-da-da-da. Alright, alright, here we go. So this is told from the point of view of Alpha. Alpha, the Tenno, who again is, he's Empress's partner, and he is the one who loves Kubro a lot. He's like a literal Disney princess, but he's really tall and gangly and scares the pants off of everybody who sees him. But he's a sweetheart at heart, so it's just it's told from his point of view. Ability guns, ability swords? I mean, why stop casting abilities? Just spam all the pizzas. Alright, so chapter 122. He sometimes forgets that the others don't see, hear, feel, taste, touch, sense, breathe, and coexist, traverse, survive like he does. He forgets that they don't move and feel everything moving with them, a constant push and pull on every sense that anchors him as though it was not him who is moving, but the world around him, and he has been positioned in one place for all of time. Logically, he knows that this is incorrect. He's the one who moves. Everything moves in its own ways, inch by inch, mile by mile, rotation by rotation. Everything moves, nothing is stationary. But it feels like it sometimes. Alpha knows where everything and everyone is always, and he forgets that sometimes. And he knows it scares people when he seems to just appear to them, even though he feels as though he's practically screaming until he's breathless, "I'm here, I'm here, I'm here." And sometimes he can't help noticing something, even though he knows he's not supposed to. Alpha is bad at surprises. It's so hard to surprise him, geographically speaking. He experiences everything around him all at once. It's hard to remember which parts are supposed to be the surprise. Alpha's never been sure if this is all a skill unique to himself, or something to do with the way his school of focus taught him to control his energy. He has not met many like him, so it's hard to know. Alpha's difficulty with speech is something unique to himself, and he finds that the opportunity to ask questions he would like to know usually passes him by before he can force the words out. Punk and Chic, especially, are very loud. Punk is like a bursa, a heavy thing that beats like wings at the back of Alpha's head with bright, booming bursts of sound and light. Chic herself is like an Eximus's aura, demanding and intimidating, with a strange sort of flicker around the edges as it washes out and away. She spreads, pools a little, not a lot, just enough to color things a meter or so around her. But if he isn't careful and he looks at her directly without focusing, you could get a headache from all of that light. Kore is a scream to gut the sky. She's loud. Not like Punk and Chic are loud, unavoidable and instant. Stars that blind you as you round the side of a planetoid, the burst on the back of the eyelids when you close your eyes against it. She's loud in a different way, a looming way. Kore's aura, strange gold that wavers with flicks of blue and green around the edges, could be so soft. There's potential in it. He's seen it sometimes, for it to be 1,000 years of afternoons in the grass, the sound of water gently lapping against fingertips. Instead, it's 1,000 years of heat condensed into a small, thin bead, so bright and furious it stings to glance at. Kore is loud, the way a dark cloud in the distance is loud. Loud in the way a furrowed brow and a clenched jaw is loud. Kore is loud in the way impending violence is loud. Kore is not her violence, but she's become so wrapped up in the vision of it that it's become her. Judge is not as loud as the other three. He's more jitters, stutters, flare-ups, magenta streaks of static like from a Vauban's Tesla mine, flickering here and there, sometimes latching onto something for a minute, giving the object a faint glow of magenta before the connection breaks and travels somewhere else. It's like a radio frequency that's been left on in the background and is slowly being tuned one way, then another. Sometimes it's just faint, murmuring static noise, white noise, but with these sudden bursts of almost coherent something that get garbled up again moments later. But there is no one as quiet in the galaxy as she is. Alpha feels himself grow warm with her quiet. She is the moon. Her aura is black, and it ripples like the night, glitters like ice in the dark. She is a moon, always present but silent. She could be so faint in outline, and Alpha could watch her all day, all night, forever, for eternity, and never get tired of it. She waxes, she wanes, she stays the same, but it is also very controlled. Hers is a self that lathes against the edges of existence, a gentle reminder, a caress, a whisper caught in your hair before it could reach your ear. Sometimes Alpha will get so caught up in feeling her that he doesn't realize she's moved because she is like the traveling of the moon, 1 minute there and far away, and then surprisingly and suddenly here, and bright and soft and clear, shining like 1,000 pearls made of stardust. She is the second Lua, or maybe Lua is the second moon. It doesn't matter. She had once asked her what he looked like, to her. Physically, he knows what he looks like, but he wanted to know what he looked like through the void, through their focus. She looked at him then, and he could tell she was really and truly looking, and he, foolishly, wanted to turn away and hide his face, even though he did ask, and even though you can't really hide yourself when a Tenno is looking at you through the void, even though just covering his hands wouldn't do anything really, because of course she's seen him before. But he's had that moment of fear and shameful doubt, a moment where he thought that if she looked at him from that close with that much intensity and focus, she would see what he really was. A monster, like the one who came before him. A monster like the scars on the hands he inherited from his mother prove he is. And she would leave him. No moon, no stars. "My sight isn't as good as yours," she had said after a silence that for once felt uncomfortable. She won't say it out loud, he thought. But her hand had slowly taken his and pulled it away from his face. "I see something gentle," she said. "I see something I want to protect. I see a heartbeat, as steady and as certain as the sun. There is a world within you that I want to lie in, though I cannot see the detail. I think I see a home. I have no other way to describe it to you. The light is yellow gold and soft, like warm sand and silken leaves and pollen. It calls me." Whoopsies. The sound clip appears to have borked. Let me try and pull it up again. There we go. But yeah, let me know if the background sound of the water and thunder and stuff is too loud. Let me know if it overwhelms my voice or something. Is Fashion Frame canon? Pretty much. Corey does like making her frames all red and black and ominous looking, and she complains often that Judge doesn't have a fashion sense, and Corey always picks his colors for him. You enjoy the rain sounds? Okay, that's fine. I'm glad you are. I was just wondering if they were too loud, as I can't hear what you guys hear. That's all. That is all. I guess it's canon. She makes her frames like most fashions. yeah. I mean, I think, let me see if I can remember everybody's fashion frame. So, Hades usually has magenta and blue. Sheik usually has pink and yellow, I think? Mostly pink. And then Punk usually has blue. I think it's like a light, I don't know what shade of blue, but he's blue. Punk is blue. Sheik is pink. Judge is blue and magenta, and then black and blue and magenta. And then Corey is usually white and red and black, I think. She specifically avoids whites and golds and pale pinks and stuff because those were the colors that Ballas put her in, and she hates Ballas's guts, so she deliberately chooses not to be all Orican colored. I wish there were pictures. There probably are. I could dig around in the author's like Tumblr or something and see if I can find pictures of their operators. Corey has pink hair, and she has that void scar that covers one eye, and it's green in color, so it looks like leaves covering her eye. And then I think Judge has darker skin and really short hair. Then Sheik has super hyper hot bright pink hair, and Punk is handsome, I guess. That's all I know about their operators. Alright, anyway. They're not too bad today? Alright, cool. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Alright, I'm gonna move on to the next chapter. Dun 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 dun. Here goes. Oh, I'm just rearranging a thing real fast. Alright, cool, we're good. Chapter 123.
What happened to Punk?
Judge repeats, not quite sure he heard Sheik right. He was on his K-drive doing his thing, Sheik says, and then he almost got his head cut off because he went straight against a light pole.
How?
He was in the middle of a flip, and he didn't realize there was a light pole. Head, meet pole. Neck, meet upper limit of ability to keep head and body connected when rammed directly into a pole.
Void, is he okay?
He's done stupider things. He'll be fine. Sheik waves a dismissive hand. It's mostly the somatic recoil that's getting to him. He's out on his orbiter right now. I was with him earlier, but my school is based on healing, not pain numbing. And since there's nothing to fix, it was a waste of energy. I just spent the entire time cleaning. Judge raises an eyebrow. I don't usually clean his orbiter, but if I was bored and it smelled, Sheik says, his poor cephalon can't keep up. Judge can believe that.
Is he going to be okay?
Judge asks, not quite sure if he believes Sheik's cavalier disregard for Punk's seemingly near-death experience. Real death, not the death that the Tenno are used to death. Actual, final, permanent death. Yeah, he'll recover, Sheik says. Remind me to tell you about some of his accidents when he first started Lunaro. You'd never believe he's a professional now. He almost killed a referee once. The game hadn't even started yet. If Corey were here, she'd whisper just to him, and that's why we don't do the sport. Sport sucks. Corey isn't here. It's just him and Sheik at Maru's, watching other Tenno coming and going, and circling around the tree in the center of Maru's bazaar. Baro Katir is supposed to be back at Kepler in a few days, and Judge is considering getting Corey a mod for a gift, because she recently dumped a new shipment of gum on his ship when he wasn't looking. And this time, there's a very small box simply labeled pomegranate. He's pretty certain that she had that one custom made just for him, and it makes his stomach fluttery with Titania's razor wings. He's a little low on ducats, though, so he's asked Sheik to help him. She's got literal hundreds upon hundreds to spare, but he'd rather figure out a way to earn them himself if he can. They're going to do some relic hunting after this. Sheik's just looking out to check if anything good has hit the Tenno market before they go. Sheik says, leaning against him, arms crossed. Prices on Hydroid Prime components aren't as good as I was expecting. Might want to change those for ducats instead. That's alright, I've got a few of those lying around. And I saw some of the chance tables for your relics. You could get a few of them too. If we play this right, we could get you about 500 ducats. Judge makes a mental note and wonders if he's her secretary. He wouldn't mind it, honestly. Sheik is more than generous with her time and affection, even if she still won't let him live down that disastrous, for him, first encounter. Come on, I could use a hand, Sheik says meaningfully, and Judge groans, pushing her away from him. A pair of them, actually. Sheik's voice cracks into husky laughter as she tugs him by the arm back to the landing bay.
All right.
Oh, wait. All right, I just need to unload a few things for Maru, and we'll go. Market price hasn't changed too badly, and I've got a few axes that could use a good cracking. We might even pick up enough residual void traces to refine some on the way.
Axie? I thought we were just going to run some Neo grades.
Axes have better rewards, Sheik says. I only run Neo when I'm bored. What, you don't think we can handle it? I run Axes solo sometimes.
What kind of Axie?
Both he and Sheik flip open their navigation alerts as they walk. Judge grimaces. There's only one Axie fissure that's opened, and it's been marked for high levels.
Interception?
He says, skeptical and a little nervous. It's never been his forte. He's not good at defending a point, let alone 4 points at once. Well, Sheik says, that's not quick or favorable, but it's something. You'll get more ducats from an Axie relic, too.
All right, but just the two of us? For interception? There's 2 Neo. One's on an infiltration node, and the other is on a sabotage area.
Those aren't as fast as a capture or exterminate, but they're better than interception, and something both of them are vastly more capable of handling than just the 2 of them. There's also one survival, which is really the best for what they want to do, but it's only a Lith rank, and neither of them have any Lith grade relics to take in. Judge doesn't know where the Empress is. The Alpha is currently single-mindedly focused on saving every animal on Venus. Punk is out of commission, and he has no idea where Corey is right now, other than that she's not here. He thinks he remembers feeling her on the way over somewhere in the direction of Jupiter. He'd have to check his navigation console to be sure.
Call Persephone?
Call Persephone?
I'll try, but I think she was headed towards the void,
Judge says.
Probably Argon runs?
He's not sure. Probably Argon runs? He's not sure. Well, I have a clan, and you have a clan, Sheik says.
We never interact with our clans,
Judge points out. He sometimes does, but not a lot. Sheik sighs. If we asked the Alpha very nicely, he'd come.
He'd be distracted the entire time.
If we ask him where the Empress is, he'd know.
But then we'd have to find the Empress to ask her,
Judge says, defeat sinking in.
I'll try to hail Persephone, but I think we're going to need prep to do this, just the 2 of us.
A pair of hands, Sheik says, and then snickers. Judge groans. Vazarin gives immunity for 5 seconds. Eh? You talking about void dashing through somebody with a Vazarin? I mean, Punk did a trick on the K drive and almost broke his neck, and presumably it happened away from Sheik. So, I doubt it had anything to do with Vazarin. Conclave sucks in lore. Well, this is fan lore. It's not official content, but so Punk is a Conclave expert, but he's absolute trash in any other game mode that is not Conclave. He's actually really good at Conclave, and he apparently, by people betting on Conclave, she makes a lot of money. She's basically a stock market broker, and she makes like trillions of credits on betting on Lunara matches and the index and stuff. So she uses Punk to make money. So the characters, minus Punk and Sheik, don't like Conclave. Alright. Chapter 124. Oh, wait, hold up. What's her face? Is Sheik Vazarin? Let me check. She is Vazarin. Huh. What do you know? Meh. I mean, she might have been too far away. I don't know. Who can tell? Pretty good at Conclave. There are some people out there who are actually really good at Conclave. There are people who play Conclave semi-regularly-ish. There's a whole Discord dedicated to people trying to find conclave matches. Like, there are people who play it. There's probably, like, I don't know, 50 people out of the entire player base who play it, but there's people out there who are good at it. That's all I'm saying. Bazrin's the only healing school? Alright. Well, I don't know. Maybe she was away from him. She might have been away from him. And having immunity from damage doesn't have anything to do with pain. And that's what she is saying, is my school is about healing, not about pain nullification or something. I don't know. Anyway, I'm moving on to the next chapter. Alright. Chapter 124. Who is... Oh, whoa, what happened? My chat died. Hold up. Where's the chat? That was very weird. Okay, I'm gonna be typing something. Well, I have to do a CAPTCHA just to get my chat back. What is this? Oh, I think the service that I was using just died. It says unknown request error. Apparently I can't log back into the chat thing I was using. Okay, cool. I will just use the YouTube chat then. Let me pop this out. Where's YouTube? YouTube. Here it is. Pop this out. Pop out, please. Please. There we go. Alright, cool. Now I can read the chat. Yay. Alright, moving on. Chapter 124. The stream's not dead, is it? The stream didn't crash? No, the stream didn't crash. Alright, cool. We're good. Just double checking. Okay. For realsies this time. Chapter 124. She is under no grand delusion that she's the best Tenno in the world, nor the most renowned. Frankly, she isn't a very dedicated Tenno either. Oh wait, okay, so this is, sorry, interruption. This is told from the point of view of the Empress, Alpha's partner. Just giving you guys a heads up about that. Alright. She is under no grand delusion. I'm starting over. Chapter 124. She is under no grand delusion that she's the best Tenno in the world, nor the most renowned. Frankly, she isn't a very dedicated Tenno either. She received her call sign as a half-mocking thing. She was once a child of executors, a golden creature ranked high above the others. If she had not been on that ship, if her brother had not sent her with her sister, if she had been any less loved, she would have not been made Tenno. She would not have gone from a would-be commander of Dax to faceless tool. But she is not faceless. Not quite. She was once the child of executors. She was trained by a Dax soldier. She is not faceless, and she refuses to be seen as such. Her brother and sister died for her to be here. If she had not been sent away, if she had not been loved as much as she was, she would not have survived, and she would not have outlived the Orichan. She is an empress of an empire of nothing, and that is because she thinks that one does not need grand palatial hallways made of living walls and thinking doors and golden panels fueled by the screams of stars. Maybe when she was little, she did think like that, but she doesn't remember anymore. It all seems very far away and distant. Sometimes she doesn't even think that person was her. Maybe she's someone else. A ghost in the void that took over the body of a dead little girl. Maybe this is her next life already. She thinks she likes this person, the person who left the void, better. She doesn't remember exactly the person who went into the void. It's been so long since that person existed. But she thinks that the person who left is better. They must be. This person understands love and sacrifice and what the real things are. The real things were not kept in golden hallways that drift between stars in the dark, lightless, empty nothing of space. The real things are here, in the dirt, the mud, the dead and dying grass, the rotting forest floors. The real things are here, at the other end of the void, underneath the stars, firmly anchored by gravity. The title of the Empress as a call sign was a mocking thing, made by people who were nervous around the monster from the void, because she was once ranked higher than they were, and she knew it. Because they were afraid of the Dax-trained creature with death in her eyes, and they were afraid because she knew secrets about the Empire that she was born to manipulate. And then there she was, collared and chained and made subservient. Sometimes she wonders if she deserved it. Does that mean she deserves this? This, which is the wide open plains of grass and rolling hills and a sky so blue it makes your eyes water. This, which is trees groaning with fruit because a few weeks before they were bursting with flowers. This, which is the sound of running water. Water so clear it glistens and reveals smooth river rocks and glistening fish like metal flakes. This, which is the clouds that make her want to sleep, and rain that makes her entire body sigh. This, which is storms that make her laugh and throw her arms up and out like she can hold wind. This, which is a morning fog that makes her mind sluggish and dreamlike. This, which is watching a bird smaller than her palm hover around a flower with wings that sound like the buzzing of a drone, but nicer. This, which is watching wild dogs chase each other in and out of bolt holes. This, which is watching the crack of lightning set a forest ablaze even as the rain extinguishes it. This, which is him as he walks towards her, arms full of fruit that he deposits at her feet as he kneels down and looks up at her and laughs into her head. His laugh is not a sound, but rather a tingle of energy that stutters like leaves in the wind. "Is something amusing to you?" she asks. Alpha shakes his head, and his words come slow, but that's because they come from the truth deep, deep inside. It takes time for things in the earth to come to the light.
"I am happy,"
Alpha says, falling silent once more. Still kneeling, he takes her Saren's hand in his, Oberon's fine, fine fingers stroking over Saren's knuckles. He touches Saren's fingers to Oberon's face, and she turns her hand, palming his chin and gently drawing a line where his mouth would be. "Good," she says, stepping back and letting her hand fall before she steps out of her warframe. With her own hands, she takes Oberon's head and she kisses the center of his forehead and smiles. She can feel his own smile like warmth radiating out from a rock. She lets her hands fall as she turns to the autumnal harvest between them. You deserve to be happy, she thinks, and it's equal parts towards herself and him and the world around them. Their home. If she were ever to sit on a throne, if she were ever to rule, if she were ever to command, if she were ever a fraction of the empress they mockingly called her, let her empire be this. Let it be the taken back places that have been scarred by war and are healing. Let it be the places that have been abandoned to regrow and find themselves again. Let it be this, side by side with him under the sun, on a planet the galaxy decried as a lost cause. Let it be here with him, standing on the fading of one season and embracing the fruit of another. Let it always be this, golden sun and golden grass, with skies so wide that they become a ceiling to the world, blocked by nothing, blocking out the rest of the galaxy, contained by nothing, containing everything. If there is a God, let it always be this. Do, 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 do. Warrior 2064, hello, welcome back. Were you able to see the message that I sent you earlier? I don't know if you were able to or not, but you asked if I played Ark, and if you're talking about Ark Survival, I do not play it, but it is a game I have my eye on. Maybe once it goes on sale for like 99.9% off, I'll get it and maybe try it out. Hello there, person with Patrick Starr's icon. No, this is just a normal book. There's nothing gross in it. Don't you worry. No, it's not. No, Sakura Rose. It is not. There is nothing NSFW, no smut. It is clean. I would not be reading it if it was not clean. Anyway, yes, it is a Warframe story. It is a fan fiction. There is nothing bad in it. Don't worry. I don't know how you could hear people talking about how happy she is to be, like, surrounded by a nature and her loved one and come to that conclusion, but alright, sure. Anyway, on to chapter 125. Alright, let me get the screen all nice and organized. Whoopsies, go back. There we go. Okay, cool. Chapter 125. Judge has sometimes heard that pets are supposed to look like their owners. He's not sure what that means for him and Handsome. It absolutely 100% applies to Corey and her Helmets Charger, whose DNA she recently modified. Or maybe it's something to do with Helmut itself and its adoration or even reverence for Nidus, to make it look like her Nidus. It also definitely applies to Empress's Kavat, who he's only seen glimpses of. Kavats, in general, are not known to be overwhelmingly intimidating in appearance. They sort of give off the same aura as a katana or a dagger. Sleek, dangerous, lethal precision, sharp. The Empress's Kavat looks less like a Skana or Skyla than it looks like a Gram or War. If Kavats could lift weights and bulk up, then this Kavat is one of them. Or maybe it ate the champion of them. Judge has seen this Kavat twice, and both times have left him with a feeling of such existential dread and primal fear that he's pretty sure he just blacked out the other times the creature might have been present. It's a different type of feeling altogether than what he feels when he looks at Spooky. Spooky's cute. Spooky is charming. Spooky is a little baby who wants to cuddle and a kiss on her hideous little head. Spooky's visage makes you turn your eyes away out of instinct and the desire to not have your entire everything shut down. The Empress's Kavat makes you avert your eyes out of respect and fear of consequence. Judge, for the life of him, could not tell anyone what color that Kavat is because he's never let his eyes linger long enough to process that information. He's not even heard the creature's name because he's mentally blocked out all sound related to the Kavat out of self-preservation. The Alpha has a rotating mass herd of animals around him at all times, which somehow suits him very much. Sheik has Percy the dog, who despite being very sweet and bubbly and bouncy is also very chic in that she sometimes gets this look on her face like she's judging you very hard and laughing. Also, she likes to be pampered, and Sheik has pedestals made of oro. Punk, though. Jude. Jude's dog is named Pug. Pug is a tiny little Chesacubro that Judge is fairly sure that if it were born in the wild would be considered the runt of the litter and possibly eaten by the others. This is not to say that Pug is not a formidable companion. Pug is not a formidable companion. Pug is a decent companion who fetches like he's supposed to, but is also very small and runtish, and has trouble picking things up because he's so small, and it's very cute, but also not very pragmatic. This is also not to say that Judge doesn't like Pug. Judge loves Pug because everyone loves Pug, and because it's impossible not to love Pug because he's Pug. Judge doesn't know if Jude and Pug are perfect reflections of each other or complete opposites. Jude's chroma is big and broad and loud and fire-breathing, and generally kind of just all around vividly in the moment. Jude is athletic, despite the fact that he consistently does average in most of their missions, and has lower stats than all of them. Jude is also remarkably self-confident for someone who has to be rescued from his own mistakes on a regular basis. Pug is amazingly tiny. When Judge first met Pug, he thought that Jude hadn't matured him for combat yet, and was about to scold him for bringing Pug into a high-level infested extermination zone. Pug is little and sweet and sometimes a little shy and skittish, but overall a sweet, beautiful boy who's doing his best and is living his best life with his little tail and his small paws and his little tongue. Judge adores him. Even Corey adores him and does this openly. She's nicer to that dog than she is to Judge. Corey's almost died for Judge. Judge is fully convinced she'll do the same for Pug. Corey goes out of her way to lie down so she's at Pug's level and tell him that she loves him when she sees him. Judge swears that during a mission she saw her wall climb and perch and just watch the general chaos for a while because she was just watching Pug run as fast as his little legs could carry him to bring back ammo for Punk whenever he heard or saw a stray magazine fall. The Punk and Pug duo are an amazing team of enthusiasm and more enthusiasm. You can't even get mad at them because Pug is so Pug, and everyone's used to Punk being Punk. Judge rubs Pug's paws in his hands, the little dog's stump tail wagging as he pants softly.
You're amazing, Judge says to the dog. I respect you.
Don't hog the dog, Corey says, colliding into his side and making grabby hands for the Kubro. My turn.
No, you had him last time,
Judge says, trying to angle his body away from her as she tries to reach around him.
I'm trying to tell him something important. Can I get my Kubro back? Punk says.
No, Judge and Corey reply together.
Neat, Punk says. Okay, Alpha, my man. I guess we're fishing here until forever. I'm not getting my dog back anytime soon, apparently. No, buddy, I don't want another dog. Yes, it's okay. They can play with my dog as long as they want. Yeah, I mean, look at how happy they are. It's totally fine. I'll get Pug back later when they're asleep or something.
Corey's voice is a low whisper in Judge's ear. Joke's on him. I'm never going to sleep.
You can't do that, Judge whispers back. Insomnia is my thing.
Oh yeah. Tuki, hello. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a nice time listening to the story. Welcome. Also, I didn't wave to Warrior. Warrior, hello. Welcome to the stream. And Peppa Pig, hello. Welcome back. It's good to see you again. This is very cool. Semi paying attention, zoning out. Hey, that's fine. I appreciate you being here. You don't have to pay attention. Hot dogs. Hey, well, hope you enjoyed your dinner. Fishing time. Alpha is the biggest fan of fishing. He fishes on all the planets. At this point, the story Deimos has not been unlocked. It's just Cetus and Fortuna. But that's all day, every day. He fishes for the cousins. He wants to make sure you have enough food for the whole family and the cousins too. That's his thing. He's got to keep fishing to help support the people of Cetus. He does it all the time. It's great. It'll be out in a couple weeks, but when are we getting crossplay and cross-save?
I don't know.
Probably not anytime soon. Next year, I'd guess. I guess maybe August. August next year. That's my guess. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. You fish on all but Deimos fishing is the worst. Oh my gosh. It's so broken. I hate it. Like, it's been out for so long. You'd think they'd have fixed it by now, but no, I'm gonna strangle someone. It's such a buggy mess, and I'm very sad about that. Fortuna fishing is the best? I don't know. I think it's kind of equal to Cetus fishing. They're both good. I love fishing. Cetus and Fortuna. I'll tolerate fishing on Deimos. It's got a really cool, unique aspect to it where the fish are flying. Like, I love that. And, like, the exocrine system and, like, how your spear can go into the exocrine and catch the fish that are flying. It's such a cool system. But it's so buggy. It is so buggy, and I hate the bugginess of it. It's such a cool concept. And it's just so buggy. It's, like, not even worth doing. Thank you, Peppa Pig. That's very sweet of you. Fishing for Konzu's early lunch. Heck yeah. Well, I guess. Yeah, it's more for the cousins, but yes, Konzu too. Early lunch for Konzu. Somebody from DE, I assume. Wish they would have kept the fishing mini game from Fortuna. Oh, you mean the thing where you stab it and then you have the little timing puzzle where you have to hit it in the little red zone? I like how each thing has something that makes it unique. Like Cetus is like vanilla, and then Fortuna has the little fishing timing game, and then Deimos has the exocrine and flying fish. Like, I like how each planet has unique fishing. I really like that. So I don't think that it's bad that they didn't transfer the Deimos. The Orvalis fishing over to Deimos, because it's unique to Orvalis. So I can appreciate that. Better off killing a whole batch of infested on Deimos instead of fishing because it's boring. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Deimos has like more content than Cetus and Fortuna combined. Maybe not combined. Perhaps it's more content than Cetus probably, because it has isolation vaults and it has Deimos Arcana bounties and it has necromechs and it has a lot of cool stuff. And it's got like the Nixiferas. I like how Deimos has critters that will spawn even without you going to the spawn points. They're just randomly roaming around. You could be walking around and you hear a Undazoa call out, and you're like, oh hey, there are Undazoas nearby, and then you'll land and you'll see the Undazoas and you can just capture them right then without having to start the call point. I like that about Deimos. That's very cool. And the whole system of the weakened Vulpophilas and weakened Predacites, where you can like make them pets if they're weakened, I love that system. Like, Deimos has good stuff. Like, it's not my favorite open world. I think, what is my favorite open world? Probably Cetus. It's not my favorite open world, but it's still got cool stuff. The red bar. Yeah, I like how the red bar seems to be unique to mechanical fish, because you're like overloading their circuitry kind of thing. So I can kind of like that. Your granny pig's name is on the top of the screen. Yeah, because your granny pig was the last person to subscribe to the channel. So yeah, they're gonna be up on the top of the screen until someone else subscribes. Ba-da-da-da! Yay for granny! Okay. Way easier than you... I mean, I've always liked fishing. I've always thought it was a joy, but that's just me. The infested are a pain. I mean, so are the Dargans. Fortuna. Oh, Fortuna's great. Exquisite. I mean, there's a reason why my in-game name is We All Live Together.mp3. Fortuna's great. Alright, anyway, let's move on. Chapter 126. Let's go! Woo, woo, woo. Here goes. Chapter 126. Okay, so this chapter and the next chapter are different chapters from what we normally experience, as you'll see in a couple seconds. I'll probably do it in an Ordis voice, because I think that is who is narrating this at this point. So yeah, this is a different chapter. Change of pace. I think it's cool to see things from a technical standpoint. Anyway. Chapter 126. Communications offline. Attempting to reestablish connection in 3. Attempting to reestablish connection in 2. Attempting to reestablish connection in 1. Accessing squadron, competent and idiot, communication grid. Permission requested to Squadron Leader Cephalon Superbia. Permission granted by Squadron Leader Cephalon Superbia. Reconnecting to Squadron Competent and Idiot. Life sign monitors, accessing life signs grid for display on HUD. Calibrating and adjusting noise level. Resetting noise modulators and volume input. Test sound for ambient sensory details initiating. Background calibration running. Recalculating for Selenic interface. Adjusting for void proximity. Reconnecting live input in 3. Reconnecting live input in 2. Reconnecting live input in 1. All systems are functional. Readouts are stable. Biological readouts are stabilized and transference is steady. Persephone. Chic. And we've got her. Persephone's back. Condition is stable. Alpha, cut your connection. Hades.
Alright, I'm falling back. Persephone, are you good to return to front lines?
Persephone. Negative, Hades. Experiencing minor transference static. It'll resolve itself. Sit rep. Hades.
Sheik and Alpha have been assisting in bringing you back after the corrupted nullifiers and bombards knocked you out. Punk has been running interference on the outermost edges of our containment zone. The Empress and I have been holding the front lines.
Sheik. We've gone through half a wave. You haven't missed anything. Persephone. Damage taken to payload? Alpha. None. Sheik. Some breakthroughs from the front lines, but nothing the Alpha and I couldn't handle. You good to go? Punk.
Percy, I thought you died and they didn't even let me come see you.
Persephone. Thank the void. Static has passed. Ready to switch out. Currently at 0. Punk, pull back and hold entry point Alpha and Beta so I can work with Charlie and Delta. Frontlines funnel for me. Sheik. Alright, Persephone is on the field. Punk.
Copy. Cutting interference down to entry points Alpha and Beta. Front lines please funnel Charlie and Delta for Persephone.
Hades.
Copy. Falling back to buffer zone from front lines to buffer.
Empress. Received. Providing cover for Hades to fall back. Persephone, request for link up once ready. Persephone. Noted. Anyone else link up? Sheik. I'm good. Hades.
I'm good.
Alpha.
Pass. Punk. I don't think I get a choice in this one.
Persephone. Empress in line for link up. Hades, hold fire. I'm lining up. Empress. ETA for link up. Persephone. Building mutation quickly. Quarter of the way to max efficiency. It might beat the next wave. Can you hold out? Empress. Noted. I can hold out. Is Hades back to the defensive line? Sheik. Negative. Hades is still in the buffer zone pulling for Persephone. Persephone. I no longer need pulls. Hades, go back to the defensive line. Hades.
Copy. Returning to the defensive line. Heading up to Birdseye. Agreed?
Sheik. Before you do, Alpha and I could use a little pick-me-up. Requests for Tenno on the field? Hades.
Copy. We'll wait until current wave is over before entering the field.
Sheik. Noted. Alpha. Received. Empress. Can I get a sit rep on the defensive line's arsenal status? Sheik. If we can get Hades on the field for a few seconds, I'll be good to go. I'm good on ammo. Alpha's done most of the shots. If we can get a path for Alpha to do a sweep of the buffer zone sometime during the next wave, that would probably be good. I've been counting his shots. He's running low on sniper ammunition, and he could use a few extra energy pickups. Empress. Noted. Persephone. Hades.
This is Hades, back on defensive line. If Alpha wants to take a sweep now, that's fine.
Persephone. If Alpha could hold entry point Delta, I'm about to link up. Empress, on your mark. Buffer zone or front line. Empress. Range for connection. Persephone. Not close enough from Charlie Delta entry to front line. Empress. Punk, I'm falling back to the buffer zone. Can you hold Alpha Beta entry points? Punk.
Copy. Running low on energy, though. Any room for me to switch out to the defensive line for a while?
Sheik. Not on this wave. Hades just came back in. Alpha's about to do a sweep. Persephone's about to do a link up and hit front lines. Alpha. I can hold off on a sweep. Hades.
No, you can't. I'll do a quick appearance on the field for you and Sheik to recover, then switch out to with Punk. I can hold Alpha if Empress and Persephone are holding the front.
Persephone. Empress, are you in position for link up? I'm still holding Charlie Delta. Empress. I have you in sight, approaching from behind. 15 meters in. Initiate link up at will. Persephone. Initiating link up. Punk.
Ew, I heard that. Why is your umbilical cord so gross sounding, Percy?
Empress. Thank you, Persephone. Alpha, are you coming out for the sweep and to hold Delta? Sheik. Alpha on the field, approaching buffer zone closest to the Charlie Delta entry. Persephone and Empress, you are clear to return to the front line. Empress. Received. Next wave is incoming. Brace for impact, squadron. I have audio on 4 heavy gunners. Persephone. Copy. Punk.
I'm being ignored. How many more waves?
Hades.
Infinite. We hold the payload for as long as we can. There's no ETA.
Punk.
I want extraction. I'm exhausted. Can someone call for a relief squad?
Empress. No.
Punk. Please. Empress. I do not repeat myself. Alpha.
Sweep is finished. Holding point at Charlie Delta entry buffer zone until recall requested. Punk, fall back for support.
Punk. Common. How's the payload?
Sheik. Good. No damage taken. We're doing really good, guys. We're 30 waves in and no damage to the payload at all. Not even a nick in the shields.
Persephone. Squadron. Running on maximum mutations. Link up with the Empress is about to expire. If Punk is really running that low, I can head back to the defensive line and activate Virulence. Sheik or Hades can take my place on the front.
Sheik. I'll swap out with you, Punk. I'll switch out with you. Punk's going to need Hades.
Alpha.
Punk, pass through Charlie Delta entry zone. I can cover both of us with hollowed ground and escort you back to Hades with renewal.
Punk. Copy. Hades. Waiting on Alpha and Punk. Hold switch out until visual. Empress. Persephone, begin falling back to the buffer zone. I can hold the front until Sheik completes the switch out. Persephone.
Copy.
Sheik.
Copy.
Hades. Wait, I'm getting interrupted visual. Red? Anyone else copy? Signal interference? Anyone? Alpha.
Copied the visual. No audio alert.
Empress. Same. Persephone.
Same.
Sheik.
Same.
Punk. Same. Hades. Oh. Empress. Sitrep. Hades. New Loca, I think. Yeah, New Loca. Sheik.
Of course. Everyone fall back to defense point. Set up the barrier between Hades and the payload. Hades, you move out so the payload doesn't get hit.
Persephone. Well, I'll set up Virulence in the buffer. Hades, you're with me. We're linking up. Hades. Do I have to? Persephone.
Do you want to die?
Empress. That's rhetorical. Link up with him. Hades. This is just so gross. Persephone.
It keeps you alive.
Hades. What cost though, Persephone? Receiving New Loca broadcasts. Prepare for Eximus Squad.
Whew, alrighty. Hello there, Nick Nitro. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? It's going good. We're reading a book tonight. The next chapter is also going to be the same as the previous chapter. It's going to be that mission log. Yeah, I guess that's what it is. The comms log according to Ordis, I assume, since that was Corey who had been knocked down and got revived, and that Ordis was reinitiating her comms with everything. But yeah, we're gonna have one more chapter of that, and then we're gonna go back to the normal storytelling. Have they tried using squad energy ammo restores large and ammo restores? I mean, maybe that's why they were pulling Alpha back to the defense point. It's probably technical jargon for come back to defense point, I'm dropping a pizza. I don't know. Are none of them using frames to protect the cryopod? I mean, they had, let's see, they had an Oberon and they had a Nidus, and then I don't know what the others were. Yeah, maybe the others were a defense frame. I don't know. What does the check mark mean? I don't know. It looks cool though. It looks very cool. Maybe he's like an official YouTube verified account. I have no idea. Anyway. We're gonna continue on with chapter 127, which again is one of the those chat link log chapters. But then after that, we're gonna go back to the chaos as usual. Dropping a pizza. Heck yeah! Pizza time! Pizza time! Like, initiate Spider-Man memes. I don't know. Frostergara would be lovely. I don't know. Maybe one of them was a Frostergara. I don't know. We only know that there was a Nidus and an Oberon. That's all we know. And they had 6 people in their squad. So, it's possible. Alright, anyway. Moving on. Chapter 127.
Initiating channel request from Squadron Beauties and Babes. Leader Cephalon Oras. Authorization granted by Cephalon Oras. Adjusting frequency and running check on voice synthesizer for default receiver Nidus. Cleared check for noise reduction. Cleared check for ambient scramble and echo resolution. Initiating audio check. Calibrating for ambient noise levels. Adjusting for excess sound from upper atmospheric chambers. Entering decompression mode. Recalibrating for gravity-controlled environment. Channel for Squadron Beauties and Babes is opening live in 3. Channel for Squadron Beauties and Babes is opening live in 2. Channel for Squadron Beauties and Babes is opening live in 1. Punk. Alright, everyone sound off before Alpha disappears and this becomes one super intense round of tag. Empress. Present. Alpha is also present and standing right next to you. Sheik. I'm here. Hades. I'm here. Persephone.
Here.
Punk. Alright, so, Empress. Persephone, maintain recovery point Alpha while the rest of us go ahead. Sheik and Alpha are on escort duty. Hades and Punk will hold recovery points Beta and Charlie as they become available. I will spearhead and tank aggro as needed for the evac teams. Hades, be ready for 10-01 field requests and switch with Alpha for renewal as needed. Once we get a stream of evacuees going, Sheik and Alpha will cut their routes short, exchanging groups as they go. I leave that up to their discretion to choose at what point they will be and how they will portion out their runs. Alpha and Sheik come up with a management system and then let the squad know so we can make changes to the lineup as needed. Squadron, be ready for Alpha and Sheik to request pickup and escort service to your recovery point as evac gets longer. Punk. Excuse me? I'm the squadron leader?
Sheik. Just because you formed the squad doesn't make you the real squadron leader. It's just your name by default because the rest of us were busy changing out our arsenals.
Persephone. Team leader Empress's plan acknowledged. Quest to follow to points Beta and Charlie while waiting for first wave of evacuees in order to build Nidus's mutations to maximum output. Empress. Permission granted, but be ready to fall back to recovery Alpha. Punk. Why am I always ignored? Hades. I'm listening to you, Punk. Do you have something else you want to add to Squadron Leader's plan? Anything to change, add, discuss? Punk. I'm surrounded in betrayers. Wait, even you, Alpha? Alpha, don't look away from me, buddy. Buddy, come on, we go fishing together all the time. Hades. That's not a mark of exclusivity. Alpha's main occupation is fishing. Sheik.
For the cousins.
Persephone. For the cousins. Punk. For the cousins. Alpha.
For the cousins.
Hades. See? Empress. Punk, do you have anything to change to the plan? Hades, 10-01 field to start us off. Hades. Alright, everyone getting close. Executing Void Dash for energy regen. Punk. Well, no. Empress. Then are we clear to move out? Punk. Do I at least get to do this part? Why are you all looking at me like that? Percy? Sheik? Hades? Sheik.
We're looking at you the way Empress won't because she's polite and dignified and stupidly well-mannered.
Punk. Paint me a word picture. Hades. Well? Persephone.
We're looking at you with the expressions of grief people when they realize they're in close proximity to a teenage acne-covered mess of a buffoon.
Punk. Excuse? I am so hurt, betrayed, shocked, insulted. That's slander. Hades. To be fair. Punk. I've never had acne in my life. My visage is flawless. I am the beauty and the babe. My looks have always and will always be perfectly crafted, honed, and displayed for eternity. And not even the void and war and the sentience could destroy that. If they made a Warframe based on me, it would be based on my aesthetic value to the galaxy's culture. Persephone. He isn't arguing the buffoon part. Private channel request from Cephalon Skyla. Private channel request from Cephalon Skyla authorized. Hades. Corey, play nice. Persephone. I was. Disconnecting private channel with Cephalon Skyla. Empress. Squadron, proceed to recovery point Alpha. No alarm set. Speed is at leisure until evac signal hits radar. Double check lockers for extra ammunition and pickups. Sheik.
Copy. That's Empress talk for everyone focus and get your mess together before I do it for you.
Hades. Everyone file in. Persephone, you at our back, or do you need us to be up here?
Persephone, let me go up with the Empress. The faster I can get to base mutation, the better. I'd prefer to be at Nidus's minimum threshold before recovery point beta, so I can hang around between there and recovery point alpha until the first evac. Alpha. Noted. Switching with Persephone. Hold fire. Funnel path.
Empress. Acknowledged. Holding release of spores. Toxic lash is already activated. Don't mind. Sheik. Acknowledged. Hades.
Acknowledged.
Punk.
Acknowledged. Not sure if this was stated, but request to hold point Charlie.
Empress. It was not stated. Request is acknowledged. Hades. You're alright with point beta? Confirm. Hades.
Yes, it's probably a better point for me to hold anyway. It'll give you guys a place to stop and recover energy.
Alpha.
Wait for visual confirmation of area before confirming Beta and Charlie. Signal on evac.
Punk. I've got lap signs on my radar. I think that's our first evac. Permission to go ahead and secure for escort?
Empress. Granted. Hades and Sheik move with Punk and give a sit rep once Beta and Charlie are in sight. Sheik. Following up on Punk, entering Equinox night mode. Holding Pacify for Vax escort back to closest recovery point. Hades.
Following up on Punk and Sheik, holding desiccation for visual on Grenier.
Punk.
Acknowledged. Taken point. We'll confirm status of points Beta and Charlie once visual is obtained. Heading out.
Empress. Noted. Recovery point Alpha ahead. Persephone. Status on Nidus's mutations. Persephone. Working at a minimum. 15 stacks in building. I'm good to hold point Alpha. Proceed with evac. Empress. Noted. Alpha with me. Alpha.
Always.
Yeah. 6-person squad. Yeah, I mean, listen. This is the world of Warframe as it does not pertain to game mechanics, right? It's focused more on the lore of the universe rather than the nitty-gritty of the game mechanics. Yes, they have a 6-person squad. Besides, 6-person squads were canon for raids, so it's possible to happen in the Warframe universe. Alex Rogers, hello, welcome to the stream. Welcome. YouTube's working? Good to hear. Yeah, Equinox, Oberon, Nidus, and I think Desiccation. Desiccation is an Inaros ability, if I remember correctly. So Equinox, Oberon, Nidus, Inaros for... This is a, what's the name of this game mode? Cassini Saturn. No, not Cassini Saturn. It's... not Disruption. Defection. This is a defection mission. I don't know if you guys caught that or not. It is a defection mission. They're probably farming Harrow. I don't know. Why else would you run defection missions if not to farm Harrow? I mean, really. Let's be real. Conclave is luck enough for 8-person squads. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, these guys are very close-knit. Whoa, I don't know what that happened. These guys are very... yeah, nope, it's not letting me do that. They're close-knit, and they run a lot of missions together. They're the squad. They're the squad. Anyway. Desecration? Let's check. Is it desiccation or desecration? Desiccation. It is desiccation, not desecration. So it is, in fact, Inaros. But Hades always brings Inaros everywhere. Hades is Inaros, and Kore is either Nidus or Saren. Like, they're always... They have mains. They're playing with their mains. They're playing to have fun, not to be meta. Anyway. Gotta get those Harrow systems. I know, right? I know. Technically, at this point in the story, Hades already has a Harrow. Maybe they're helping, I don't know, Kore farm a Harrow or something. I don't know. Or maybe they're just trying to help the Kavor out of the kindness of their hearts. You never know. Alright. Moving on to chapter 128. Whoop, whoop. We'll probably get to 130 today. That's exciting. We're only halfway through. Ooh, excuse me. We're only halfway through the stream. Can't even check the wiki for... Oof, the internet's that bad? Ripperoni. My condolences.
Alright.
Internet, please.
Alright. Chapter 128. This is... Who's talking? Okay. Chapter 128. Yep, come on, get hands down. There we go. Nope. Yes. Okay. Chapter 128. Alpha the Kubro is no less intimidating, big, or ominous than his Tenno counterpart. Not even with a fake red nose and a little party hat on his head. Judge is sitting down on the floor of Sheik's ship, with Alpha the Kubro lying down next to him, head gently nestled on his paws, little tail idly wagging back and forth. His ears are always at attention, perky and perfectly poised to receive any orders given to him. Alpha the Kubro quietly shuffles just a bit closer to Judge, a warm bar of heat and thick fur against Judge's leg. Judge sinks his hand into Alpha's fur and gives the dog some scratches. Judge is absolutely surprised, as everyone else, that Corey decided to show up on Sheik's ship for the winter solstice celebration that Sheik is hosting for the 6 of them. Corey came up in her nidus, then left her nidus next to Judge's Inaros, and is permitting Percy the Kubro to deposit chewed-up pieces of corpus tech at her feet. Corey keeps tossing them, and Percy keeps bringing them back as fast as her little legs can carry her. The dog has reflexes. She's jumped up to catch some of the pieces before they even hit the floor. Corey is, of course, keeping her transference hood up and fully sealed, but she's actually here and out of her nidus, so that's something. Judge looks down at the dog again and watches Alpha tracking Percy as she runs after the corpus tech that Corey throws.
Do you want to play?
Judge asks. No, Corey says, turning to him. He doesn't like fetch. Judge raises his eyebrow at her. He can fetch, Corey says, but only because I tell him to. It's not fun for him.
And how do you know?
Corey reaches into Percy's toy basket next to the incubator and pulls out a strip of Grenier armor and throws it at him. Judge catches it and tosses it to the side. Corey bends down and scoops Percy up before she can go after it. Percy barks loudly, little limbs stretching out and flailing as she tries to run after the black fabric before twisting around to try and lick Corey through the hood. Alpha stays where he is.
Fetch?
Judge says. Alpha's ears swivel towards him before turning back to Corey. Fetch for Hades, Corey says, and the Kubro quickly gets onto his feet and trots off to retrieve the armor piece. He picks it up and brings it back to Judge, softly putting it down on Judge's leg. And then he lies down again. This time, he's turned a little away from Judge, like he's trying to ignore him. Not the image of a particularly entertained Kubro.
How do you play with him if he doesn't fetch? Punk asks, sitting next to Judge, shoulder bumping into his as he leans around him to look at the large black Kubro. Hey, boy!
Alpha's ear flicks at Punk in acknowledgement. Alpha the Tenno sits down on Alpha the Kubro's other side, and the Kubro snuffles at his hand before relaxing. Give him the thing, Corey says, walking up to them and practically throwing Percy the dog at Punk, who catches her and is an enthusiastic recipient for Percy's licks, wiggling everything and delighted barking.
Like this?
Judge asks, holding out the armor piece close to the Kubro's head. Yeah, just hold it there. Alpha the Kubro turns his head to look at Judge. Judge continues to hold the item out, and Alpha the Kubro gently takes the armor in his jaws and lightly holds onto it. Judge moves to let go, but Alpha does at the same time, and the armor piece falls out of his mouth onto the floor. No, don't actually give it to him. Just hold it for him, Corey says.
Okay.
Judge picks it back up and holds it out again. Alpha the Kubro takes it again and holds onto it very lightly. Judge doesn't even see teeth marks forming.
Now what?
Just hold it, Corey says.
What?
Hold it. Just hold it.
Why?
Judge asks, baffled. Corey shrugs. He likes it. Look at his tail. Judge looks down, and the Kubro's tail is, indeed, wagging happily. Alpha the Tenno starts petting Alpha the Kubro. That's cute, Sheik says, walking down from the navigation deck. No give, only hold. What a sweet puppy. Hey, the Empress says she'll be here in like 10 minutes. Her cephalon is giving her lip, and she's trying to argue it back on course.
Judge can't imagine anyone giving the Empress lip. She's bringing her cat, so, everyone just be ready for that. Judge swallows nervously, accidentally moving the armor. Alpha the Kubro just lets the movement steer his head. Corey looks suddenly a lot perkier. I love that cavat.
Of course you do.
Punk groans, clutching Percy closer to him.
Sheik, can I just hide in your room?
It's not a party if everyone but Persephone is hiding in my room, Sheik says. Besides, that hellbeast mostly just torments Helmet and skulks in corners. We'll be fine. Probably, I mean. He's a well-behaved hellbeast. He's just, like, stacked for a cat.
I think her cavat could eat all 4 of my dogs, Punk says, and have room for a main course. You can look at it, Judge says. I black out every time.
I love that cavat, Corey repeats. Alpha the Tenno keeps petting Alpha the dog.
Jailer is nice.
The cat's name is Jailer? Sheik says. How come I've never known that?
I'm sure she said it at least once, Punk frowns nervously. How come this sounds completely new to me? I black that part out too, Judge says.
I love him, Corey says firmly. I would die for that cavat.
The list of things you love grows more by the day, Judge says, and I'm kind of wondering about the standards for getting on that list. I thought it was exclusive.
Just because your cat is on it doesn't mean it isn't exclusive. Oh, I'm gonna take a slight drink. I'll be right back. Alright, drink taken. Welcome back, everybody, to the stream. Hope you had a wonderful 5-second break. And in the meantime, we are going to continue on with chapter 129 of See So You Can Sing So Deep and Strong. If you guys would like me to post a link to that in the comments or something again, I can do that. I keep forgetting to add it to the description of the stream. So, rip me. Also, hello there. Oops, nope, that's not working. Help. There we go. There we go. Hello there, Amima. You've never seen a Thursday in your life? How? Were you born on a Friday and it is now your 6th day of being alive? Sounds like an interesting situation. Anyway, welcome to the stream, newborn child. I'm Nebulux. This is we're reading a book. We're reading a Warframe book. It's fine. If you don't like it, Warframe, if you don't like Warframe, what do you mean? Everybody likes it. There's nobody who hates Warframe. If you're not familiar with Warframe, don't worry. It's all a character-driven story, and each chapter is episodic. So if you join for a chapter and then leave, you're not going to be confused by the plot. The plot is all character development. Slice of life stuff. It's great. Turbo Tortoise, hello. Yes, please, for the link. All right, got you. Let me get you the link then. Sorry, Judge just got hard denied. Huh? He got denied? Denied what? Oh, the list of people who she would die for? No, Judge is on that list. Don't worry, Judge is on the list. All right, here is the link. I will add that to the description of the stream at some point, probably after the stream. So it is on the website Archive of Our Own. So if you don't have an Archive of Our Own account, you will not be able to read it. But hey, I have read this is book 4, right? I've read books 1, book 2, and book 3 live on stream. And I have read book 4 all the way up to chapter 129 live on stream. So you could check if you're actually invested in the story and you don't have an Archive of Our Own account, you can just turn on past broadcasts of me reading the story to you guys, and that's good enough. Wait, newborn child? What? No, what? I'm confused. They said they've never seen a Thursday in their life. The only way you could only ever see a Thursday... The only way that you could never see a Thursday in your life is if this is your 6th day of being alive. That's all I'm saying. I don't understand what the jelly bit comes from. But yes, I highly recommend this book. A disclaimer that I forgot to say at the beginning, it does have swears in it that I'm filtering out because I'm not comfortable reading swears. But other than that, I know fan fictions usually have a bad reputation for being, degenerate and whatnot, but this one is not. This one's all 100% wholesome. It's 100% safe for work. I would not be reading it on stream otherwise. It is an awesome book, and I highly recommend it. Like, this author is so good at character development and character interactions. It is chef's kiss. It is spectacular. Newborn child, I mean, nothing I can do about that. I don't have magical baby zapping powers, so, such is life. Anyway, we're gonna move on to chapter 129 of the book. Yay. If you guys had any questions, feel free to ask them and I will answer them. Like, if you're like, what is a kavat? What is a kubro? I will gladly answer the questions. If you're like, wait, who is Judd? Who is Judge and who is Jude? Why are their names so similar? Like, I could answer those questions. If you're confused about literally any aspect of the story, I will be more than happy to explain it for you guys. Jelly is another word for jealous. I know that. I just didn't understand why you were jelly. That's all. It's tough being 6 days. I can imagine. I would like to invest money in the technology that is allowing you to project your coherent thoughts into text. Thought to text. Tech. Arm. Please no. Alright, anyway. Yeah. It is a good story. I like it. Surprised you managed to find Nebulux in 6 days. I don't know why I have an article. The Nebulux. I know the Alpha and the Empress have articles. This is the first time anyone's referred to me with an article. Anyway, moving on. Chapter 129.
Wait, there's more than one?
Judge asks, incredulous, as he watches 4 dogs running around Punk with great and boundless enthusiasm.
They're all named Pug?
Yep, Sheik says, popping her lip at the P. The best part is that they all know which one of them he's talking to when he calls. I don't know how it works. For a while, I was trying to graph it to the pitch and timbre of the way he was saying it, but it got to be too much work with little to no evidence, so I gave up. It's probably some sort of freak Tenno-Kubro bond thing. I don't know. I mean, Alpha somehow talks to all animals without talking, so it isn't entirely unrealistic.
Punk having 3 different Chroma Prime Warframes suddenly makes more sense, now that I know he has 4 Kubro named Pug,
Judge says.
This seems like a waste of arsenal space,
Judge said, examining Punk's arsenal.
Nah, it's like a job necessity. I have my Grax Chroma Prime for everyday use, I have my Chroma Prime all decked out with my sponsorship logos for competition, and I've got deluxe skin chroma for, well, date night. Or when I've made Sheik super mad and need to earn her forgiveness. I need all 3 because I had to mod one of them just for competition, and that's an entirely different thing from what I do normally.
Sure, it makes sense when Punk says it like that, but the reality of it is that he's using up 3 whole Warframe slots for the same Warframe.
I've known both of you for basically years, and I don't know how this hasn't come up sooner.
Well, he knows which Pug he's talking about. The Pugs know which Pug he's talking about. No one else ever knows, so that's probably why, Sheik points out. I mean, to be fair, we had no idea what the heck you guys were talking about whenever you referenced Spooky. And now we can't ever not know, so thanks for that.
She's a sweetheart,
Judge replies automatically, coming to the unfortunate Kavat's defense, because Corey certainly wouldn't. If Corey heard something bad about Spooky, she'd just say something like, she doesn't need me to defend her. She is her own defense. Sure she is, Sheik says, but that face.
Looks aren't everything.
Yeah, but with a first impression like that, can you blame a person for not wanting a second one? Sheik retorts. Anyway, Pug 1 is the one you know, the little one. Pugs 2 through 4 are the other types of Kubro, the ones that aren't the sneaky boys. Because Punk having a sneaky Kubro makes no sense.
Hurras.
Yeah, that one. You know, I didn't call you over to gawk at Punk's dogs, Sheik says, bemused.
Right, sorry.
Judge says, slowly turning away from the spectacle of Punk saying the word pug over and over and getting a variety of responses.
You need help with something?
Yes, Sheik says. I'm working on tooling my new MOA, and I could use some help with the program tweaks. The one you made Persephone is choice. It would be even better if she actually let it do its job.
I know! I keep saying that.
So help me build one that I will definitely let do its job, Sheik says. I've never been much for tinkering, but I do have some ideas. Come on, ignore their noise. They'll get tired and dogpile eventually.
Is that flavored text or literal?
It can't be both. Holy Void, you can't just body check him like that, Sheik snaps. Punk, he's a newbie.
I'm sorry, Punk says. I didn't mean to. I mean, he did say he knew how to play, so I thought...
I hate sport, Corey hisses, and Judge groans, feeling a tightness in his chest as someone slowly helps him sit up. Judge looks around, a little disoriented. It takes him a second to recognize the Lunaro pitch, empty except for Punk, Sheik, Corey, and himself. He sees a bit of glimmering gold floating around him, and he recognizes the Alpha's familiar aura, steady and deep, thrumming like some sort of growing sound in the bones, washing over him. He slowly turns and sees that the Alpha's Oberon is holding him in his lap while releasing steady waves of renewal. Judge, are you okay? Sheik says, stepping out of her trinity and looking at him with concern. The idiot decked you with an unstable Lunaro ball.
Mom, sorry. It's fine,
Judge says, feeling a bit woozy, but no worse for wear. He feels worse getting hit by bombards, honestly.
Everything feels okay.
Don't get out of your Warframe just yet, Sheik says. Wait for Alpha to finish stabilizing you.
I'm sorry,
Punk says, looking like he might cry. A horrible look. His nose is all scrunched up and his face is blotchy red.
I thought you'd throw it back or dodge.
Judge sees Corey behind the other two Tenno, her Nidus's arms folded and hip cocked. He can feel her concern, but it's also a lot of general amusement. When you said you know how to play Lunaro to Punk, Sheik says, do you mean you actually played Lunaro or just watched games of it?
The latter?
She pinches the bridge of her nose. Punk looks even more distraught.
Judge, I would have taught you the basics of how to handle the ball, Punk says. There's more to it than what you see on streams. It's a lucky shot you were in your Inaros. I might have actually killed you.
Alpha pats Judge's Inaros on the shoulders and gently pushes him off, golden waves of energy receding as Alpha cuts off the renewal. Judge carefully steps out of his Warframe, leaving Inaros inert on the ground before him as he stands up.
I'm fine,
Judge says.
I've taken bursa hits worse than that. Seriously, I'm fine. Come on, guys, let's just go back to playing. I was having fun before the ball exploded on me.
Master procrastinator, you say. All right, well, welcome to the stream regardless. It's great to have you, regardless of taking 7 days. It's great to meet you. 3 different Chroma Prime. Looks at your 3 Avara Prime. See? Art imitates life, as they say. Oh my goodness. Alrighty, well, how much time do we got? We probably got tons of time. We got a whole hour. Oh my goodness. We got a whole hour left. We're probably going to get it at least chapter 135, maybe chapter 140. Who knows? Maybe we'll get to 140. That Lunaro went better than my Lunaro. I've won a Lunaro match before. I'm not that good at it though. Mainly because I've played it for like 5 minutes. I've actually played quite a bit of Conclave. Usually the versus mode, but yeah, not really Lunaro. Have you ever played Capture the Cephalon? That game mode is so cool.
Like, I wish we could get it with, like, a ton of people playing it. It sounds so fun. Like, it seems so fun. I've ever only played it with, like, 1v1. But, like, the Cephal and voice lines are so funny. I love them. Anyway, moving on. Chapter 130. Judge stretches Inaros' arms. This is going to be a quick run while they wait for one of Sheik's newest guns to finish building. It's got less than half an Earth hour on it, and their capture target is one of those particularly... Well, Judge shouldn't say weak. He's certain that the Corpus believe that all of their strongholds are quite strong, and that their gun-shaped ships are all very menacing. But it's around Mercury, and everyone knows Mercury is where baby Tenno go to cut their teeth after waking up with extreme amnesia, body dysphoria, and transference weakness due to inactivity. It's going to be fast, and Judge can kill some time practicing with the Snipetron. Corey always makes it look so easy when she gets like 5 people with 1 shot and doesn't set off any alarms. The next time he and Corey go on a mission, he's going to get at least 2 people with 1 headshot, and she's going to be very impressed with his growth. Seriously, he's going to do this. The target will probably be caught within 2 minutes, and he can spend the rest of the time practicing his shots until Sheik lets them know she's done setting up her latest whatever.
Alright, let's go,
Judge says, heading off.
Got your back,
Punk says. Judge's focus is mainly on locating the signal of their target, orienting himself to where they are on the ship. He doesn't notice when Punk lags behind. Punk always lags behind. Opening lockers, busting open containers, sometime hitting blast windows for fun, general sightseeing. What Judge does notice is when Punk quietly, softly, sheepishly, and a touch frightened says, "Oh." Judge feels his entire everything swoop out to his toes.
What? You know how we were in the derelict?
Judge skids to a stop, turning around to where Punk isn't.
Skyla,
Judge says with mounting dread,
bring up our stats.
Skyla obligingly brings up their Warframe conditions, and Judge sees a horrifying 3-digit number next to Punk's name and sigil in bright red with no shield meter.
That's 159, Punk says weakly. I have 3 keys on me. I think I forgot to take them off. You think? Judge exclaims. Which keys? The ones that hobble you, the ones that saps your health down to a real low number, and the one that basically turns your Warframe shields off. Void. Think of it as an extreme hijack?
Run, Judge says, turning heel and sprinting towards their capture target signal in leaps, bullet jumps, and the fastest, trickiest, most precise parkour moves he's ever done in his life. If he were to take any of the Lotus rank-up tests now, he'd be flying straight through all of them, in perfect sequence with time to spare.
Just run straight to extraction. I'll take care of the rest. Right, on it. Can't run so fast.
Judge switches his channel to mute so he can scream.
I'll cover you. I can make it back to you in time. I already have the target in sights. Taking them out now.
Judge pulls Broken War from his back and delivers 3 clean cuts to the target's legs, then executes a sweep to knock them onto their back, followed by a finisher to the stomach. As soon as he's sure that the target has been properly absorbed into the teleport containment unit, he turns and books it straight back to Punk. Punk, who's unleashed Chroma's fire breath and is running at an even jog.
I hate you, Judge says. Why are you like this? How are you like this? How are you always like this without fail? Oops. Fancy footwork there, by the way. That was amazing.
Judge absolutely could not recreate this if he tried. And stars, he never wants to have to do that again.
We need to get out of here, Punk says. This is not a place for us to be establishing Tenno relations.
Hold up. Sorry, 1 second. I need to figure out who's saying this. So Punk, someone, Corey, someone, Hades. Okay, it's Hades. I got you. I got this. Alright, start over.
We need to get out of here, Punk says. This is not a place for us to be establishing Tenno relations. Punk, we need all the support we can get, especially now that we've lost the Lotus, and it looks like we're facing a new sentient incursion. This planet has water, it has alloys, and it's a good distance from the last solar rail. The Tenno Council has agreed. Everyone needs to start looking for allies whenever we can.
I never agreed to follow any Tenno Council, Corey mutters. Punk's right. We need to get out of here. Someone else can make these people allies. I'm not doing this.
Guys, they're friendly.
Hades, they're cannibals, Corey hisses. Judge glares at him.
You can't just say those kind of things about people. What would you know? We just met them. We don't have any records from the network of anyone making significant relationships or noticing anything from them prior to this. Just because you think poorly of everyone doesn't necessarily mean it's true.
Ouch, Punk says.
That's harsh.
It's definitely true, Corey replies unfazed. But in this case, I'm not just trash talking just to trash talk and be prickly.
Percy using the word prickly to describe herself voluntarily. I never thought I'd hear it happen.
In this situation, I'm being perfectly literal when I say these people are cannibals, Corey says, because I am 100% certain that the bones on their everything are people bones. And they were making these weird references and had tattoos like butcher's marks. I think their religion is based on a ritual sacrifice, Hades. As in, you ritually sacrifice someone and eat their parts to get stronger. I don't like this. We need to get out of here.
They're not cannibals.
No, they're definitely cannibals, Sheik says. I took a closer look and I had my Cephalon do a comparative scan of some of the inks they're using. It's almost definitely people, and the bones are 100% people. We need to get out of here.
What is wrong with all of you? It could be like, I don't know, blood from a cut, bones from sky burials. Guys, stop behaving like Persephone.
Hades, I have qualms about this endeavor, the Empress says, walking up to them, hand placed on one of her sword hilts.
Not you too.
Judge groans before throwing his arms open.
Okay, everyone listen. These people are not cannibals. We're all going to behave and do our job as Tenno who are trying to outreach to brace for war. Persephone, just be quiet and stand somewhere you can watch things not go poorly. Empress, don't scare everyone to death with your everything and get them to start war with us out of fear of everything you. Alpha, you stand right next to Punk at all times. That way we don't lose you and Punk has a minder. Sheik, please, for the love of everything, just keep it in as much as you can.
There's a pause as everyone just looks at him.
Okay, good. Let's go,
Judge says, trying not to think about how ordering a bunch of personalities like this is going to backfire on him so very hard. At least 3 of them are going to passively aggressively get back at him. Who knows about the other 2? He just can't tell which is going to be which. Judge turns around and his breath does a really complicated thing in which it makes a really sharp pain in his chest and kind of burns going down. There's a person on a stone tablet with a butcher knife. There's another person who looks way too enthusiastic to be marked up with ritualistic paint. And there's a bunch of herbs. They're going to cook and roast this guy. Void.
Oh, Void, they're actually cannibals.
Judge wheezes. Is it possible to win Lunaro? It is. It is. It's a contest. You have 2 sides. And they're throwing a ball at each other. And whichever... Come on. Come on. Come on. And whichever side scores the most points, like basketball, wins. It's the basic premise of like literally every sport. Yeah. Played tons of Conclave from standing for Power of 3 and Prism Guard augments from Teshin. Hey, there you go. Hey, Conclave is a thing that exists. Less than half an Earth hour, so 15 minutes. Yes, that is less than half an Earth hour. When you forget to take off your decaying key, must be doing a shield gating build. No, I think he said at the beginning of the chapter that you remember how we were in the derelict earlier.
So they were probably farming, what are they called? Derelict vaults, I guess. Dragon key vaults. Yeah, they were probably farming dragon key vaults. Honestly, I don't think it was a shield gate build. It was an accident. He accidentally equipped it on his chroma. Happens to you all the time. What does? Oh, forgetting to take off the keys. Fair enough. Fair enough. Unless you mean losing at Lunaro, which happens to people too. All right. Anyway. Or mistaking people for cannibals. That's also a thing. Anyway, moving on. Chapter 131. Sheik grabs onto Judge's arm, shaking him a little. I'm dying here. Convince Persephone to take Punk off my hands for like 1 day cycle so I can recover and maybe talk myself down from giving him permanent death. Judge turns to Corey. Corey pointedly ignores him in favor of flipping one of her scarf ends literally over her face and letting it dangle on top of her head. He spent 1 day on Venus, Sheik says, shaking Judge again. 1 day, Hades! The idiot has spent 1 day on Venus and he's gone native! He thinks he's a vent rat! He talks like one of those punk kids with their K-drives!
He is a punk kid. He is a punk kid, Judge points out.
Just because his call sign is punk doesn't mean he has to act like one, Sheik replies, lip twisting in disgust. He uses their slang. He started to dress like them. Where did he get those clothes? Did he steal them off some poor kid? Like, what the heck? It's been 24 hours!
And in that time, we've lost both Alpha and Persephone, got them back, seen the Empress have a small meltdown, and discovered that Venus does actually have wildlife, Judge says.
And, the Empress says from where she's seated next to Corey,
we found out how to stabilize Garuda and make her for ourselves.
The Empress smiles.
Soon.
Judge and Sheik share a reflexive shudder. It's pure hindbrain instinct and self-preservation. Speaking of clothes, did your girl also have a costume change? Sheik asks. She did not have those clothes when we first landed. I mean, some of it, yeah.
The skirt, yeah, she,
Judge rubs the back of his head.
She ripped it off a smelter. Literally ripped it off his body. It was insane. I think the guy was so stunned that he let her get away with it. I mean, if some kid came up to you and ripped your clothes off your body and started wearing them, I think I'd be pretty dazed too. I gave him some credits and bought off a few of his debt bonds to make sure things were okay.
Not that it isn't a good look on her. Actually, it looks really intimidating and suits her whole aesthetic pretty well, but why? Also, are those new boots? Judge turns quickly around to look at Corey's feet. Corey has a very firm and steadfast love for her Zaraman suit boots. They've brought her through everything and they're broken in perfectly. Corey would never part with those boots, except it looks like she has. Judge gasps. He points at her brand new boots.
What the flip?
Judge says, and Sheik groans. Not you, Sheik moans, letting go of his arm and turning around to yell at the landscape around them. What is it about this colony that makes people start talking slang within 1 day cycle? None of y'all are from here. They broke, Corey says. My old boots broke, and I'm not tramping over frozen tundra in boots with holes in them. I'm not punk. Also, one of the Cooperdons peed on me, so I needed to change. And the leather looks protective and like it'd be easy to wash. Or ditch in a fight if someone grabbed it. It also looks excellent on you, Sheik says. Empress, you know, there are options available to you in the Alpha, with more insulation or armor, padding, protection in general. Both the Empress and Alpha are still in the transference suits the Tenno were put to sleep in. Plain black and gray with none of the customization the rest of them have taken to. The only differences are the amps on their arms, and the fact that Empress has a Manduka-style hood to account for her large mass of hair, and that her suit is pure white. I don't need it, the Empress says, taking off one of her gloves to examine her nails. And Judge absolutely 100% believes her. The Empress, as a Tenno, could be pounded by a Bursa, and he'd believe that she'd take no damage. She could be stomped on by the Jackal, and she would take no damage. He believes she could take bombard blasts to the chest and take no damage, with or without the insulation and armor afforded by the other styles of Tenno gear. This is also because the idea that anything could actually hit her is laughable. The Empress is almost as fast as a volt as a Tenno, and she executes turns, stops, and starts in Void Dash with terrifying accuracy. And he's seen her use her aura to melt metal if it gets too close to her. Sorry. They have the same focus school, and Judge definitely can't do that. Honestly, Judge doesn't even know how her hair isn't one giant static cloud. Sometimes he gives Corey's hair static, and he doesn't even feel nervous about anything. At least, not until he turns and sees her head looking like a particularly fluffy Kondrak, and then he's terrified that she's gonna find out and come after him. And it's definitely not the Empress's Naramon training, because he's pretty sure that the Naramon school has nothing like that available in their arsenal. Right, Sheik says after a healthy pause. I do like the solid white on you, though. Makes your eyes positively glow.
They are glowing, Judge says. Sheik, all of our eyes glow.
I don't mean it literally, Hades. Persephone, teach your boy something about figurative language. It goes over his head, Corey replies without missing a beat.
I know what figurative language is.
Judge scowls. Sheik pinches his cheek and coos. You look like a puffed up baby Kavat when you do that, Sheik says as Judge bats her hand away from his face. Adorable. So cute. I feel myself recovering from Punk's idiocy already.
Where is Punk?
He's supposed to be keeping an eye on the Alpha. Supposed to, being the keywords, Sheik replies.
He can't
keep an eye on Alpha under normal conditions, Corey points out. How's he supposed to do that now that he's hopped up on adrenaline on unfamiliar territory? I don't know. I don't care, Sheik answers, as long as I don't have to listen to him talk about his sick flips and his epic grinds. Why do they make Punk take all the keys? Because Punk is going to be bottom fragging anyway. Might as well shove all the keys on him so it doesn't affect their score. I don't know. It's when you forget who's talking when you're reading. Oh, got you. I didn't forget who was talking. The paragraph didn't say who the quotation marks belong to. It's different. Blood claw lady. Vent kids are cool. Vent kids are impossible to decipher their foreign language. Can she take planes of Eidolon mortar shells no damage? Apparently, yes. That's a bombard, right? Oh, mortar. You mean like Vrush turret kind of thing. Yeah, probably. I wouldn't put it past her. She's the Empress, after all. She's a living legend. Likely story? Likely story what? Oh, that there is no quote, no name associated with the quote. It was. I don't know why you guys don't believe me. You listened to me read it out loud. You heard that there was no Judge said at the end. I don't know what you expected me. Anyway. Anyway. Let's move on. Chapter 132. Corey is dreaming. Corey only knows this because the strange dreaming place that all Tenno go to permits her to know this. She only knows this because Umbra, the part of him that is always in that strange place, reminds her to look for the signs. They stand side by side in front of the door that Corey has come to understand means her place in this shared consciousness between the Tenno who still live, and Umbra is a strange sort of silence next to her. He's like Alpha almost, a silence that sucks sound in and makes it part of himself. A silence with weight and gravity and volume and dimensions. Not like the air, but like water for dreams. Something like that. Umbra raises a hand, and Corey finds her own raising with his. Is this how the Warframes feel with a Tenno controlling them? And their palms softly touch against the door as it quietly gives and parts for them. Less like a door, more like a flower. On one side, there's Umbra's window with its gold and black space beyond the frame. And on the other is Corey's unreal forest, made up of of made up and imagined things. Umbra walks to Corey's window, and Corey follows. They step in together, and Corey's ears are filled with the sound of wind through the leaves, the steady creak of something abandoned, and somewhere far away, a song. And underneath all of that, a buzzing in the soul. Corey always marvels at this place, how bright and lush and vibrant it is. Who would have thought that her mind was capable of something so vividly alive, after everything? After her parents, after Ballas, after that long sleep. Umbra walks through bright green grass, and Corey looks around her own mind. She sees glimpses of Kubro playing, her Kubro. She catches a flash of color that looks exactly like Joy the Kavat, and in the underbrush she hears the soft mew of the Forbidden One, and a little paw that reaches out to bat at her foot as she passes. Corey flicks a large, broad leaf up, and underneath it there's a little Ivara noggle that looks exactly like the Alpha's Ivara. And next to it is a Saren noggle that looks like the Empress's Saren. The two noggles are gently bobbing together in time to music from a miniature soma chord that glows a soft pink. Corey laughs, and she reaches out to tap one of the noggles and feels a little buzzing feeling through her fingertip that reminds her of the Empress's void energy. Umbra is waiting for her when she looks up from the two noggles. She shrugs, a little embarrassed, but Umbra sends nothing back at her, just silence. "Is there something you wanted me to see?" Corey asks. Umbra turns to face forward and continues walking. Corey follows after, letting the leaf fall back into place. As they pass a cluster of red undulating flowers, they release a plume of rust-colored pollen. It smells like kuva. Underneath the flowers, she sees a chroma noggle that looks a lot like Punk. Corey barely resists the urge to tip it over. And then she laughs when she sees a noggle behind the chroma that looks like Sheik's Equinox, posed to scissor kick Punk in the back. As they walk through the winding maze of trees and flowers and grass, she sees the things that remind her of other things. They call to her memories. On a flat rock are 3 pomegranates, cracked in half and arranged. She remembers the stars and the colors of Judge's holograms. She sees propped up against a tree the Kuva scepter that Judge got from the queens. When she looks up at the branches of a tree that's covered in vines, she sees the Alpha's Ivara looking off in the distance, connected to the tree by a vine of organic matter that reminds Corey of Nidus's parasitic link. There's a handprint on another tree that looks like Sheik's, and when Corey gets closer, the handprint oozes a bit of honey. And when Corey touches her finger to the liquid, she has a sudden flash of the plains, a blanket on the grass, the 6 of them assembling and laughter echoing in her ears. There's a Lunaro ball lazily bouncing between the branches of another tree. All of these little things she didn't realize she had accumulated. All of these people she didn't realize she had internalized. Corey stops when she comes across something, tucked away behind bushes and vines and large leaves. She sees the glimmer of it and feels a pull in her chest that aches. "Wait," Corey says, turning and walking off of Umbra's path into the shaded dark. The air seems colder here, and louder somehow. She feels tense. Corey pushes branches and leaves and vines aside until she uncovers it. Saren. Not Corey's Saren. Not the one the Lotus gave her to make up for the secrets. Not the Saren Corey put together herself when she didn't know she was Corey, when she had just finished gathering all the parts off Sedna. Not those Sarens. The first Saren. Corey's first Saren. Ballas's Saren. Ballas's Saren in her pristine, unblemished white, and her lonely purple, lying limp and overtaken by moss and vines and dirt. Corey brushes her hand over this Saren, and she feels the anger and the emptiness. She feels the fear. She feels the loneliness. Corey's heart aches, and she closes her eyes as she lies over the Saren she loved and the Saren she hated. "Thank you," Corey says. "Thank you for everything." She doesn't know what happened to that Warframe, where her original Saren frame went. Was it destroyed? Is it still drifting out there in space? For all she knows, it was taken by Grenier or Corpus and scrapped for parts or study. Corey stands up, gently covering Saren back up again. Let her rest. She has already brought Corey this far. Umbra is waiting for her patiently. Corey gestures to him to lead on, but Umbra doesn't go anywhere. He just turns around and kneels. Corey looks around and then slowly goes to sit next to him, looking down at the base of the tree he's staring at. "What is it?" Corey asks. "It's moss, some rocks, grass, tree roots." Umbra lowers his hand to the ground, and there's a faint rustle before something wiggles out of the grass and onto Umbra's palm. He holds the thing out to her. A lizard. Corey doesn't remember it or recognize it. Corey holds her own hand out, and Umbra gently nudges the lizard onto hers. As soon as the lizard is in her palm, Corey is swept into a memory. And oh, it's always been him, hasn't it? What's the memory? I guess we'll find out in the next chapter. Ba-da-da-da. The mortar turrets versus verse turrets. I know there's mortar turrets. I'll have to take a look around the plains and see if I can figure out. They have custom Ivara noggles. No, they're in her dreamscape. These are all inside of her brain. It's not like in her ship. It's her mindscape. It's all of the people being represented in her mind. Like remember during the sacrifice when you have that black and gold area at the very end of the quest where all you can see, the screen is completely black, and then there's a gold outline around like your operator and Umbra, and then like you have that scene where you walk up the stairs and you get to the top of the mountain, there's a tree up there and Umbra's kneeling there and you kneel next to him. Like, that's Umbra's mindscape. And so, at least in the context of the story, I don't know if that really is. It probably is in the actual lore, but in this story, that's his mindscape. And Corey also has a mindscape that is similar to his black and gold one that Umbra brought her into, and where she is seeing all these representations of her friends in her mind. That's what it is. When do we unlock our mindscape? Probably December 15th. Woot, woot, woot. That's my guess. Rip Saren Prime. I mean, Corey was a Saren main before she got Nidus. So, like, she uses Saren, like, constantly, 24/7, most of the time. It's just the Saren Prime that was Ballas's Saren Prime. Because Corey was part of a special, unique unit of Sarens that was under the direct command of Ballas back in the Orcan days. So she has a lot of pent-up anger concerning that because she hates Ballas and she hates everything he stands for, etc., etc. But she loves Saren. So it's like kind of like this love-hate thing, at least in regards to the original Saren that she originally had, because she loves Saren, but she hates Ballas, and that Saren reminds her of Ballas. And it's a representative of all of his manipulations in her life kind of thing. You need to spam ESO for Brat and Vandal. Ah, I remember Brat and Vandal. Back in ye goody old days. Yeah, I don't think I need ESO for anything anymore. I have everything. I farmed it all. Proud of myself. Alright, anyway. Let's move on. Chapter 133. The memory. The memory that Umbra gives her that is triggered by the lizard. Here goes. Chapter 133. Classes on the ship are weird. Corey's used to having classes all morning and then being free in the afternoon to help Amma in the fields, or apprentice with Ada in the factory, and then she just goes home with them after their scheduled working period is over. And all of Corey's classmates were like that. Sometimes she'd walk with some of the other kids in her class to the field, or the factory, or the greenhouses, or the loading docks together. Sometimes, on the way to join their parents on their work shifts, they would pass by the schools for the higher-ranking Orcan children. Those children were in school all day, which was weird, because Corey is kind of all right with her classes, But if she were inside all day, she'd probably get so restless she'd start kicking her desk. Then again, those children have a playground on their school and all sorts of things to play with whenever they want. She can hear them laughing past the gates and high walls. She knows about the toys because one of the children in her age group has parents who work as welders, and they go in to repair the toy structures sometimes. But here on the Zaraman, there are no separate schools, and there aren't really any children of that much higher ranking status. She's pretty sure that the highest ranks on board are some kind of scholars or archivists, but even then, it's not that high. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been put on the Zaraman. And the classes here go all day. She doesn't get to go work in the greenhouses and water the fields with Amma, and she doesn't get to go work repairs with Ada. And there are toys, but it's not very fun playing around in an enclosed space with a bunch of other kids she doesn't really know, and isn't sure she wants to know. So Corey ditches afternoon classes. When they release them for their midday meal period, Corey takes up her protein brick ration, her little packet of water, and the small container of warm soup that they provided her, and she sneaks out of the education block. Corey is very good at sneaking. She's little and quiet, and because of Ada, she knows all the little nooks and crannies to hide wherever she thinks she hears someone coming. Corey makes it all the way to the belly of the ship, where it's very easy to hide among the circuits and pipes and panels, and all the big things that make the ship run. She's going to go to the dark room grow house, because hardly anyone is ever there, and it always smells funny, and she likes to pretend she's Amma and cultivating the things in there, even though they don't really need any help. She's home free, she thinks, but then she hears a voice near one of the garbage chutes, and she quickly ducks into a niche in the wall that houses a control panel and display nodule. It takes her a second, but she realizes that the voice isn't a grown-up. It's another kid like her. She peeks around the edge of the wall and sees a boy standing next to the garbage chute and talking to himself. Corey doesn't recognize him. She's pretty sure he's not in her class. He might be part of her age group, though. He has dark skin and short hair, and he's holding something in his hands. She looks around and doesn't see anyone else. "Hey!" Corey whisper shouts, and the boy startles, clutching whatever he's holding to his chest as he spins around, eyes wide in panic. "What are you doing here?" He blinks, visibly trying to think up something to say, before he straightens up and sticks his chin out.
What are you doing here?
Corey rolls her eyes. "I'm not a rat. I won't tell on you. But you shouldn't be standing right there in the open. What if an adult sees you?"
I was throwing something away,
he says defensively.
I can't get in trouble for that.
"All the way down here?" Corey asks, cautiously leaving her nook and walking towards him. "What is it?"
What are you doing here?
He repeats, holding whatever it is up against his chest. "I was going to the darkroom grow house," Corey says. "I wanted to look at the plants."
You're ditching class?
"So are you. I won't tell if you don't." The boy nods, still looking unsure. "Do you want some protein brick?" Corey asks, holding her food out. He looks less unsure. "I also have soup. It's not as warm as it was when they first gave it to me."
I like it when it isn't hot,
the boy says, shoulders relaxing. Corey offers him the soup container, and the two of them quickly go to hide back behind the control panel and display nodule Corey was at earlier. He sips the soup carefully, whatever it was he was going to throw out hidden in his lap, while Corey takes careful bites of her protein brick. They share the water.
It's dumb,
he says eventually. "What is?" The boy's shoulders deflate and he looks miserable. "Did you steal something?" Corey asks.
No!
The boy shakes his head, looking down at whatever it is.
I brought it with me. From home.
Okay. Corey doesn't see what the big deal is. Corey brought loads of stuff from home. She brought her favorite stuffed animal. She brought a hologram of a flower her parents got her for her birthday last year. She brought her clothes. She brought her quilt that Amma made her from when she was a little baby. She brought a holo screen with her Amma and Ada's families on it. She brought lots of stuff. So? The boy's lower lip wobbles impressively, and his voice is strained when he says,
It died. I didn't mean to. I was taking care of it. I mean, I would have. I put it in a box, but then it must have escaped, and I was looking everywhere for it, and then, by the time I found it, it had been weeks, and it died, and I didn't mean to.
What?
The boy holds his palms out, and in them is a lizard. It's all twisted up and curled up on its side, and it looks all dried out, but it's also bright pink with black spots and strange frills on its head.
I didn't want anyone to get mad at me, the boy says. We weren't allowed to bring pets on board, and I know my parents would have just said, I told you so or something.
The boy sniffles.
I know, she looks really ugly.
No, Corey says. I think she's kind of handsome. Can I hold her?
The boy sniffles again and gently tips the dead lizard over into Corey's palms. Corey stirs back to herself, to the memory garden, to the memory lizard in her hands, to Umbra.
Yeah, you're right,
Corey says quietly, because at the time she didn't know his name, and he didn't know hers. She didn't find his name out until later, so much later. But, in hindsight,
it's always been him,
Corey whispers, holding the memory lizard to her chest.
It's always been him.
Ballast PTSD, all the ballast PTSD. I'm sure we all have ballast PTSD. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Da 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 da. Jeff Maxlum, thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Read more One Piece. Gotta go, I'm busy and I have to go to bed right now. Gotta go work in the morning. Sorry if you missed most of the stream. Hey, no need to apologize. Thank you so much for the donation. That's super cool of you. And you don't have to apologize if you miss a stream. Nobody's obligated to get every single stream. Thank you. Thank you so much. You have a nice sleep. Please take care of yourself. Don't stay up all night to watch my streams. Yeah. Get well soon. Why did I say that? You're not sick. Have a good sleep. My brain is bad. Thank you again for the donation. That was very cool. Thanks for timing it for the end of the chapter too. What's up with the internet? Have you tried turning it off and turning it back on again? But yeah, have a good night, Jeff. Yeah, that's my only advice. I don't have tech advice. Twitch wakes up at 2:30 a.m. What? Why? No, don't. Why? No. Sleep. Get good sleep. Take care of yourself. Come on. There's always the VODs. You don't have to catch it live. You could always look at the VODs. It'll be the same thing. Don't hurt yourself to watch the streams. You did just try turning it off and on. I don't know then. I can't give you any advice. Go to bed, Neb. I will go to bed in a little bit. We're almost done with the stream. We just got a couple more chapters left. Let me check. We have 15 minutes. We have 15 minutes left in the stream. We'll be ending soon. Don't you worry. Don't you worry your pretty little head. That was a funny looking glitch. It's fine. That is not enough. This is not sleep. That is a quick nap. That is not a sleep. No, you must get a sleep. A minimum 8 hours. No. I am not priority. Your health is priority. So don't make me sad. But thank you for the chat messages and all that good stuff. Pain. Alright. We're at chapter 134. This is probably going to be the last chapter. It's probably going to take 15 minutes to read. So yeah, there we go. Chapter 134. Hey, boyo! Sheik waves at Hades. He's sitting on the edge of a platform, legs dangling off the side and head in his hands as he stares down into the glittering coolant pools and flickering neon lights of Solaris. She takes a seat next to him. Haven't seen you around in a while. It's been busy, huh? What's up? Hades shrugs.
Nothing much. Tinkering with Moas, I guess. You?
Mostly working on sabotaging Nef's operation. Also, I'm funneling index funds into Solaris debt bonds, and that's pissing people off. I'm working on it, though, I swear.
On pissing people off?
Among other things. Punk really likes it here. The idiot started talking like one of them about it. The idiot started talking like one of them about one day cycle in. I can't believe how well he fits in here. If all of us weren't like thousands of years older than this place, I would think that punk was born here. A true vent kid. Didn't stop him from almost taking his head off hitting a billboard while trying to do a trick on his K-drive. Hades rolls his Warframe shoulders like he's kind of laughing, but not really.
You see the others?
You see the others?
Alpha's still doing conservation,
Hades says.
I see him with the biz a lot. I think the biz is getting a little overwhelmed. Alpha brings them in faster than they can make stuffed animals.
Alpha would do it without the stuffed toys as a reward.
I think the biz doesn't want it to seem unfair.
Hades shrugs again.
And the Empress is somewhere out there.
He gestures his arm out and up towards the elevators that lead to the surface of Solaris.
She got mad when Unico said she shouldn't try fighting the Profit Taker.
Hades said. I remember. It took Sheik, Alpha, Punk, and Persephone holding onto one of Empress's limbs, and Hades using Inaros' Sandstorm ability to get her into the elevator and hold her there. The entire time, the Empress was promising destruction. Unico really shouldn't have said that the Empress couldn't fight something. The suggestion of the Empress losing anything and needing to be protected from something is not a good one. I think mad is an understatement, honestly, Sheik says. Furious, outraged, infuriated. She's gonna rip that giant metal ball in half and impale those halves on its own stupid metal crab legs. Did you notice it has those weird-looking eye thingies that make it look like an actual crab?
The eye stalk-shaped things? Yeah.
Hades seems kind of sullen about something. You okay?
Sure, why wouldn't I be?
He sounds bitter. Sheik would think Hades would be enjoying himself on Fortuna, what with all the tech and gear to experiment with, and all the people he can talk techie with. She looks around for his other half, his usually more taciturn half, but in this situation, maybe Persephone would be the one to talk to. Where is Persephone? Sheik leans back fast enough to avoid being zapped by a flare of magenta electricity that sparks over the Inaros Warframe next to her.
Ticker,
Hades grumbles, pointing a sullen finger up towards Ticker's level.
She's with Ticker.
Okay, Sheik says, not quite understanding the animosity there. I'll be back.
Whatever.
Is this what they mean by teenage phase? Sheik climbs her way up to Ticker's platform, and as usual, she's surrounded in Tenno and other Solaris inhabitants checking out the debt prices and Ticker's collection of household items. She doesn't see Persephone. Wait, yes she does. Persephone's just not in her nidus, which is weird. She's in her Titania, hovering around the edge of the platform. Sheik supposes it makes sense. Titania would have a lot of good mobility options for going around Venus and Solaris in a vertical stacked settlement. It's weird. Sheik thought Persephone would have been out with Alpha collecting Kuberdons and Vermink. Maybe she needs fast standing? After the crowd dies down a bit, Persephone's Titania flutters over to Ticker. Sheik moves closer, and it's only because she moves closer that she hears what can only be an auditory hallucination. Because Ticker does her usual, calling Persephone Starshine, and then Persephone giggles. It's through Titania's synthesizer, but it's still a giggle, and Sheik stops dead. She would bet her entire fortune in credits and belongings that Persephone is blushing. Sheik would bet Punk's fortune on top of it. Sheik doesn't hear whatever it is they're talking about after that because she's still focused on the fact that she just heard Persephone giggle. She turns right around and goes straight back to Hades' platform, sitting down heavily next to him. Oof, Sheik says.
Yeah, Hades returns. Oof.
Is she?
All the time. She's always with Ticker now. Almost never get to see her unless we're doing something for Ticker.
Hades makes a small curl of sand around his fist and unhappily tosses it down. It scatters in the vent streams, and Sheik doesn't doubt that it's going to piss someone several floors down off. Wow, Sheik says, for lack of anything else to say. You know, I call her stuff like darling and cutie all the dang time, and she's never giggled for me. Sheik would bet her fortune, and Punk's again on Judge glaring daggers at her.
I'm her partner, and she's never giggled for me. Now she's always with Ticker, so I can't even say I'm her partner. It's more like Persephone and Ticker.
Chill, Hades. Punk's always hanging out with those vent kids. Doesn't mean he's ditched me forever. I'm sure Persephone still loves you just as much as she always has. I mean, she met her literal heroes, the Empress and the Alpha, and she still chooses you.
They don't call her Stardust. I could call her Stardust.
Hades pauses and wilts.
No, I can't. I'd be too embarrassed.
Have you considered telling Persephone you're feeling lonely?
In front of Ticker?
When she's not around Ticker, or like in private comm? Hades kicks his legs mutinously before flinging himself off the platform and disappearing. This is definitely a teenage phase. Alright, let's see. Time. We're at 53, so that's... we got 7 minutes. That's enough time for one more chapter. We got time for one more chapter. Cool. So that's not the last chapter. We got one more. Alright. Chapter 135.
No, not you!
Whatever the Corpus crewman was about to say next is cut off by screams of fear and complete and utter terror. Nice, Punk says. Alpha shrugs, hand relaxing into a loosed fists as it hovers back to his side. The synthesis of their capture target completed.
Have I ever told you how much I like watching you work when you aren't doing it on me?
Punk asks, following behind Alpha at a slow jog as the Oberon quietly starts to investigate the room of the ship they found the target in. Poor guy didn't even get a chance to get out of the room he was hiding in. Poor guy? Debatable, actually. He did participate in human trafficking for human experimentation, and he did do a lot of crummy stuff with his money. But anyone who's getting the Alpha sicked on them can be considered as poor guy in some sense. Punk can say this from experience. Usually he's the one getting spooked out of his mind by the silent Tenno. Oberon's head turns as he takes in the room, and then points at something high up on one of the upper floor levels before immediately jumping up and running along the walls and jumping off of support beams to get to it. Punk is more than happy to follow the glittering trail of flower petals and golden sprouts of vegetation. Punk is more than happy to follow the glittering trail of flower petals and golden sprouts of vegetation that momentarily blossom in Oberon's hoofsteps. That is such a cool little touch. Chroma just leaves behind a faint trail of smoke and burned skin smell. That could also just be Punk. He's going to ask Percy later. Percy and Hades are the only other two people he knows who've used Chroma more than once, and he's not sure if he's comfortable asking Hades what his Chroma's breath smells like. Punk thinks Hades is cool and all, like he killed one of the Greener Queens and he faced off against Ballas, and he's like this ultra awesome space detective. But that's kinda hard to go up to and ask, hey, does your Chroma's breath smell weird? Percy is so much more relatable. Some days he's gonna be on that level with Hades. He's just not there yet.
Hey, Alpha buddy, what do you find?
Punk asks, heaving his Chroma up onto the narrow platform ledge the Alpha is standing on. Alpha points, and there's a little Curia statuette.
How do you find these, dude?
Punk asks, switching one of his scanners on to analyze it.
I'm still wondering who put these things here. You got any ideas?
For mysteries,
Alpha says, after a moment of contemplation.
You should ask a detective.
Are you trying to tell me to ask Hades?
Alpha just stares at him before calmly stepping directly off the platform and plummeting down 4 stories. Punk looks over and he catches seeing Alpha's landing just in time. There's a ripple of gold extending outward from him as he slams down directly onto an unsuspecting nullifier, daggers impaled straight through the throat.
That's so cool,
Punk sighs and follows. His landing isn't nearly as awesome, but he does land in time to see the automatic doors closing. He just follows the trail of dead corpus all the way to extraction. Not even one alarm triggered. Punk's willing to bet all of these guys were stealth kills too. Again, poor guys. Debatable. Alpha gently pets Jailer's head. The Kavat ignores him for the most part, sharp eyes focused only on the Empress as she cuts through hordes of infested. Occasionally, the Kavat's tail twitches and his lip curls up to expose a gleaming fang before settling again. Alpha isn't sure if the Kavat is hungry or just irritated that Empress told him to stay with Alpha. Alpha appreciates the company. There's not much for him to do right now. Little, if anything, gets past the Empress and makes its way to him. He turns to check on the cryopod. All statuses are reading as normal. No damage taken to the pod shields at all. He wonders who's in it. A Warframe? A Tenno? Both? Or an operative? Maybe even one of their capture targets being lets out a soft, rumbling growl and starts to get up. Alpha firmly presses his hand on Jailer's back and pushes the Kavat back down. Jailer permits it. Jailer is such a good Kavat. Alpha pets the space right on Jailer's forehead with his thumb. Jailer's ears flick impatiently. If Jailer eats all of the infested here, he'll get an upset stomach. Alpha does not say this because Jailer ought to know that by now. The Kavat raises a sharp-clawed paw and rests it on Oberon's thigh, kneading a little, as the Kavat's focus switches from the Empress to him. Jailer's barbed tails slash across the ground, creating sparks and gauges on the metal platform.
If I let you go,
Alpha says, and then thinks for a second.
she will be upset.
Jailer's tails continue to slash impatiently, but he lowers his head onto Alpha's leg and growls discontentedly to himself. Alpha resumes petting the Kavat.
You're a good Kavat.
Alpha says.
Strong.
It's just that the Empress recently applied a forma to the Kavat, and there's some agreed-upon concern that until Jailer is back at his full potential, it would be best for him to stay back a little, especially on missions like these. As capable as the Kavat is, Hoarder of enemies would make it a touch difficult for Empress to keep track of him and assist when he gets overwhelmed. Jailer lets out a single impatient meow. Alpha considers suggesting that they take Jailer out for a nice extermination mission next. It does seem a little mean to be fighting against the Kavat's preferred enemy, but making the Kavat stay next to the defense point that it hasn't seen combat in about 30 minutes. Jailer, the Empress calls out. The Kavat's long ears immediately flick upward and swivel in the direction of the sound. Alpha looks up and sees the Empress waving her Saren's arm in the air. Darling, it's clean up. The Kavat has shot away from Alpha like an actual bullet, and is over at the Empress's side, shredding into vulnerable infested flesh with his sharp fangs and claws in seconds. Empress coos lovingly, impaling an infested charger that was coming at her from behind without a glance, hurling the dead body off of her sword with a strong swing of her arm. Alpha sighs patiently. Eventually, it will be his turn. Alrighty-o, and I think that is going to be it for the story reading, because we are at the 3-hour mark. Ba-da-da-da. Yeah. Yep. So, thank you so much to everybody who showed up, everybody who chatted in chat, and the people who just lurked. You guys are both equally cool. Yeah. Thank you to Jeff for them 10 buckaroos, bucker bills, the dollars, the dough, the cabbage, the moolah, whatever it is kids are calling money these days. Clap, clap. Thank you. Thank you. You're too kind. You're too kind, everybody. Lovely story time. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And again, feel free to check out the original book. I did not write this book. I am not the... Whoop, bumped my mic. I am not the author. If you have an Archive of Our Own account, please give the author some support and love, because it is a very good story. And again, we read like 5 chapters of a book that has... Let me check how many chapters... So we're on chapter 136. This book has a crazy amount of... It has 186. So we still have 50 more chapters left on the book. Like, we're not even close to being done. I mean, like, we're over halfway through, but there's still so much left in it. And it's the characters in this book are just spectacular. So, yeah. You can check out the author, heartslogos, on Archive of Our Own. Definitely check him out. Is money even useful in space? Yes, it is! Because you can buy digital stuff, like all the emotes I have. I didn't draw those myself. I commissioned other people for them. So yeah. I keep forgetting. I still need to commission 5 more emotes. I keep forgetting. It's misery. Yeah. It's very good for emotes and other digital things like
backgrounds. Woo! I actually didn't pay for any of these backgrounds. I found them for free. What other things do I spend it on? Oh, other outfits. Yeah, that's all digital. That's nothing that is shipped to me in space. Yeah. It's very helpful. I could use money. And again, I mentioned this. When was the last time I mentioned this? I think I only really brought this up during my debut stream, but like all of the money that I get from the stream, from like subscriptions or from bits or from donations, it doesn't go like into my pocket. It goes into furthering the stream. So everything that you guys give me goes back into me like commissioning emotes or commissioning, you know, being able to have hands. That's a thing that was paid for by people who bought subscriptions to the Twitch channel and all that good stuff. So it's thanks to you guys that I have hands and that I have the lovely emotes that I have nowadays and all of the other stuff that's going to be coming in the future. That's all thanks to you guys. So I appreciate it and it's all for you. Yay. Woohoo. Turbo Tortoise. Hey, I don't do art. I can't. I've done one art stream. You guys are welcome to try and find it. It was my very first collab I ever did. It was with Mira Luna and Cepheus. It was an art stream. You guys can see my art in that stream. It's the only art stream I've ever done. And yeah, I haven't done one since. And you could probably tell why. Turbo Tortoise, thank you for the stream. Oh, I appreciate the clean language environment. Hey! Oh, whoopsies. Bumped the mic. Hey! Thank you for appreciating it. Yeah, all of my streams, I do keep clean from language. Thank you. Thank you for your support. That's super cool of you. People paid for Nebhan's noise. Yes. When do you do more art? Probably never. I don't know. There hasn't been a demand for me doing art before, I guess. Like, maybe, I don't know, a milestone stream, maybe? How many channel points must I save up for art? You guys don't understand. I'm not good at the art. I could give you I could post the only art I've ever done on stream or something. Like, here, let me see if I can find it. I have it saved somewhere. Here. The only art I've done. I did it on stream. It's a fan art for Mira Luna. So on the collab stream that we had, I drew her, and she drew Cepheus, and Cepheus drew me. And actually, that picture that Cepheus drew of me is my character icon that I have right here in the YouTube channel. That YouTube channel of me going like, ah! That's Cepheus's fan art that he did during that art stream. So, here, let me pull up the image of... Image, here we go. Let me pull up the image that I did of Luna. You guys aren't gonna be impressed at all. I can guarantee you guys, it's not, I did my best, but it's not something that I would consider highest quality of top tier art. Alright, let me see if I can find it. What did I name it? Here it is. Should do the big picture or the small picture? Let's do this picture. Ta-da! There it is. It probably looks good on a small screen. I don't know. I did my best. There's Luna on her cabin with her ship crashed in the background, looking at the moon because I figured, hey, maybe she misses her people, maybe she misses all of her alien buddies, and she's looking up at the moon and remembering them. I don't know. That's the only bit of art I've done. It's the only bit of art you're probably ever gonna have me done. I don't know. It's not too bad. Well, that's what you think until you look up at the close-up details. To rally the people to demand Neb art. That's okay. I'll probably do it for a milestone. Anyway. Yeah, that's it for today. Next week, I'm going to have a collab with Haru. We're going to be doing more Monster Hunter. But I think that's all the news. I don't have much. New War. I don't know what the heck I'm going to be doing for New War. I might be doing a separate stream for it. I might be just doing it on Saturday or something. I don't know. Can't get better if you don't do it. Well, I guess I'm not getting better. I don't have time to, I guess I could do an art stream, but like, what would I even draw? What would I draw? A new, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway. Alright, well, I'm gonna head out. You guys have a good night. Glad you enjoyed the story and the bedtime reading. Hopefully you guys are nice and sleepy and ready for bed, except for apparently Sakura Rose, who's going to be starting their day at 2 in the morning. See you next time. See you next time. Goodbye, goodbye. And hey, remember everybody, if you're ever sad that you can't kill anybody IRL, just remember, you can always kill them with kindness. Have a good one, and I'll see you on Saturday over on Twitch, or if you're only on YouTube, I will see you next week. Bye-bye!